It's Thursday?
Is it?
And nobody told me it was Thursday. I didn't even have my mic on just now. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, Randy's got his mic on and they're throwing on over, welcome back everybody. And we're coming to us and Tesla's getting smoked. I'm not even logged into the chat yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. Randy, how's your day been as I log into the
busy.
chat?
We're getting going with the painting and stuff. It's just
Stuff?
Construction, demos, renos.
You might have heard some of it, everybody.
Well, we're trying to be quiet, but
no, you're not.
We gotta have a chat about this.
Are you trying to be quiet, or are you saying you're trying to be quiet?
We gotta keep on the schedule here. Tesla.
Yikes.
I told you,
Yuck.
I got concerns. I don't think robotaxi's going to save them. I know, but we've had this discussion before, and it's sort of getting magnified. I don't think the semi is going to save them. Sales in Europe, Sharif, are aware, plummeting. And I don't know, BYD's eating their lunch, and the song's not over yet. And I don't know. I'm not convinced, Elon. We got some work to do. The Model 2, I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to save their bacon. I hate to be the pessimist here, but
I think we've moved past the Model 2. I think
so.
everyone wants everything. Everybody wants a robotaxi, and everyone
Does everybody want a robotaxi?
Well, no. The idea of what's going to push the stock next: robotaxi or Optimus.
And what if it doesn't?
170?
Yeah, pullback time. So I don't know.
No, it does. Look, this has the feel of the stock, and I think we talked about this the other day, where in the last 2 weeks, like sure it's grinding up. Yes. Like you look, this is an upward trend, and since the last little move, but like the down days have been harsh with Tesla. It's like okay, it's gradually going up, but like the sell days are absurd, and we have another one going in here today. And you throw in that the market is going ham to the downside. Yeah, it is one of those. So I'm kind of with you with some concerns here. Like I think if you bought this like at the 200 or 50 period, like down in here for this consolidation, or if you bought the 220 and you're not grabbing this profit in front of 440,
but
that's foolish in my opinion.
Yes,
that's hubris. Is hubris the right word?
Sure.
I don't know.
How long can this go though? I got concerns. But anyway, I'll let you go.
I do want to say that I did double dip at lunch. I said I would. Not only did we go out with the Mr. Mendel, and I had the Montreal smoked meat sandwich. Nice. John's chilling. I think he had a Power Bowl. I asked him what was in the Power Bowl. But I also had the tacos too.
I'm going to Montreal in 3 weeks. I'm going to Schwartz's Deli, get my takeout. Oh yeah, bring my cooler.
There's also that one diner. I don't know if they still have it. You know the one? I can't say what they're famous for, but if you know, you know.
Maybe not.
Okay, well,
we'll talk.
Yeah,
I've only been a couple times.
It's not that appropriate to say, so I'm not going to say.
But
if you know, you know.
You know.
Okay.
Montreal smoked meat. Oh boy. Yeah, I got to bring home.
It's not about the smoked meat.
Takeout, but
something else.
But bagels and all kinds of other good stuff.
Oh,
I know.
Yes. And you're on the hook for 4 boxes tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Mint.
They're all mint. I told you they're all mint.
My wife, it's done. It's a done deal.
That's how it goes.
Monday?
Yeah, because you're not in tomorrow, so Monday. I'll have to bring in like all of them, I think. I'll have to bring the whole case in. Because like Sharif wants a couple, and then a couple guys in the back want a couple. So, hey man, we're going to sell out the first case before her next meeting.
Support your guides.
So appreciate everybody.
Support the guides.
Well, she's an Ember technically, because it's like, it used to be Brownies, Girl Guides, and Pathfinders. But now Brownies is like, we can't say that anymore, so they're Embers now.
Embers.
Which is cool.
That's fun. Okay.
Right. I mean, welcome back, everybody. I am now in the chat. Sean does look different. He's right there.
A little bit.
He's right there. He's got himself a coffee in there. At some point, we'll probably do the rundown. Not in a heck of a lot. Open from earlier and short AMD, the 160. Yeah, Julian, Jake, Robert, Snake. It's just how it is. Like I don't make these changes. Like I did Cub Scouts when I was a kid. Like I was in Beavers and Cubs and then Cubs and Scouts when I was growing up, and so we want to get our daughter involved in that, and it's cool. It's certainly a heck of a lot of fun. So yeah, back to the market for a quick little second. AMD. I'm looking VWAP on this thing. It's the only thing that I'm in right now. I mean, I have OpenDoor from earlier. That's bouncing off of VWAP, and this is heading down into it. So. Yeah, this might actually be catching a bit of a bid. I'm going to slip out because that is the VWAP bounce.
Yo, we're back. We're back in action, Jack. Look at this out on Ethereum. This is where we got stopped out. Look at this, though. We in this. Oh, I better, if I have to cover something to get out quickly here. Here, I'll show you my positions. There they go. So we still got the TQQs right there short. So we're still into that short. We should have just covered some right there. And we just got some Micron as well. Look at Micron. You guys were with me in the beginning of the day when we were just pumping that Micron short. Short Micron. And there it goes right now at the lows of the day. Traders unite. We're back. We're sitting here. We're ready to rock and roll. So that's what we're talking about. Hopefully you guys believed in me. Thank you if you did right there. It's futures. Huge move to the downside. Look, we've been cashing out, Neil, on this TQQ short for 3 straight days. We're catching people outside on this one, and there it goes right there. It's a nice move to the downside. So just thank you everybody for continuously believing, and sometimes you got to have that. You got to have that belief in your positions. You guys know that we got hit here. We were talking about being down and then booyaka, right? I mean, it's about staying in your lane, trading what you believe in, and just putting your money where your mouth is. And I think that I try to do the best that I can, and I think that was a good trade. So, all right, let's go, I guess, whenever we're ready. I don't even have my mic on yet.
Probably. I don't know. Oh, we are ready. I didn't hear it in my ear that we're ready, but let's get the rundown started. I know Sharif is going to be in place. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Sean's back. Randy's gone. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers over here is to get into the chat and vote. Super simple, guys. Throw in that $ followed by whatever your ticker, your heart so desires. All right, let's look at the all 4 major averages. And again, third day in a row, all 4 major averages are negative, with the ES down 0.91. The NQ just losing right now, 24,500 again, now down 1%. Likewise with the Dow. The Dow is actually the best performing major average on the day, but it is down 2/3, with the worst performing major average on the day being the small cap led Russell 2000 down 1.5. Let's start though with OpenDoor, the first ticker as decided by you, up nicely. In that 6 1/3 area, trying to hold, or trying to break above 9, I should say. This is the reason why it's up. Jane Street Institutional Level Group disclosed in a 13G filing that they have about a 5.9% stake in the company, which totals, guys, about 44 million shares.
Yeah, almost 6% stake in Jane Street. We talked about this in the aftermarket show. Jane Street was so badass that there was like a legal proceeding that they had a few months back, and there was in the discovery of it, like some of like the trades that they had been making, and some of the rationale behind it was in the discovery, and there was a bunch of firms trying to reverse engineer how they managed to be kicking everybody's butt on their trading desk. So these guys they've been doing really, really well over the last couple of years. And trading's been good, I guess, on all the Wall Street desks, but specifically Jane Street's done well. Now, whether or not that means, hey, just because of that, they're going to be great on OpenDoor, I don't know. Does it really matter? Like, this kind of hype gave it a bid, but it was like everything else. Like early on, like the first move was like shatter down, and then it got to the upside. And this is very much like LAC, which we'll get to. The only problem, what made LAC a fail, is yesterday LAC was clean off of VWAP, and today it's OpenDoor. Once it established VWAP, it's just breakouts when it's bouncing off of it. So not actually at the volume weighted average price, but for the third time here, whenever it decides to bounce, it's like wherever it bounces in front of VWAP and try to get involved, it still hasn't carried away from $9 yet. But the secondary squeeze is on. We did say this morning, if you're looking for a runner, like the only things I was looking for longs today were actually open in LAC. Because I figured market weak, I was looking for shorts pretty much, and look for the small cappers to maybe give you some runs to the upside. So OpenDoor wanted to break that 9, try to hold through $9. It's not going to go crazy unless this 11 goes, because this has been a big wall for OpenDoor. So there's a lot of work that it has to do to get there. But if that can happen, then you get some real shorts getting squoze, because the shorts at the top are still in control, even with this being up 7.5%. So yeah, a good long today. But if you're looking for that like hero long that it did before, you're a ways away from that happening again on OpenDoor.
All right, so I haven't looked at OpenDoor today. I'm still over the moon with the trades that we have on board, but I can have a quick look here. All right, so I think it just basically did what we thought it would do, man. I mean, we talked about this moving $1 every single day. It seems like one way or the other, right? So whether or not it's 10 back to 9, 10 to 11, 11 back to 10. Yesterday we go 8 down to 7. We go 7 back up to 9. You know, it's just a very dramatic move right here. And if we could break back above $9, again, I think there is a go spot there. But for me today, look at the hold on VWAP. It's been absolutely gorgeous. But you know, I haven't spent enough time looking at this. Yeah, what's up, Jin? How do you guys control your stress levels? Well, I'm losing hair every day. Well, yeah, I mean, welcome to the club on that one. I've been doing this for 25 years right now, and despite going to Turkey, should have gone to Turkey, like many others have, of course. But no, I just think how you don't lose stress is understand basically like, just that this is why I try to tell everybody this is not a job for full-time. Like, we basically don't know anybody. Maybe we might know 1, 2, 3 people out of 1,000 that are actually trading full-time. You know, maybe, and that's maybe. And so and the thing is like, I feel that if you're stressing out about, and look, I've hired thousands of traders, and maybe I'm not allowed to say this, but like, I was always looking to see, you know, are there kids involved? Is there, like what kind of stress would a trader have to make money? And if you do have a lot of need to pay bills and you're relying on trading to do that, that is 100% the wrong thing. You know, like I said, just you can go through it all if you want to, and then you could thank me a year from now when maybe what I'm saying is a realization. But it's like, take it from Neil and I. This is not literally, if you're doing this as a full-time job, I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care if you're sitting in simulation or whatever. The stress is going to get at you. And just play the simple odds. Neil's a man of math, right? So am I. And the fact is, this is not the right job for full-time trading. I don't think either one of us really know any traders that make enough money to do this full-time. And as I said, if you do, you can count them on one hand, definitely not two. All right, and this is of a sample size. I know I was going off on Vlad about how bad he is in real time. I think pressure situations, I think it's obvious. But at the end of the day, if we're going to go on stats, that's what the stats are. So in order to answer your question, Jin, thank you, Santander G, and everybody that's a real trader. I can tell you. Hold on a second. Everybody that's a real trader in the chat will know what I'm saying. And that is that you have to make sure that you have the discipline and everything like that to not let, like, winning trades can turn into losing trades, that's fine. But if you're going to do this as a side job, which I would only recommend doing, then I think you need to be as disciplined and as patient and as risk adverse as possible. Do not take this as a very risky thing. I mean, we talked about... That's
the thing I was going to say. Right. Because I will tell you, of the people I can tell you that have done it for a long time, and myself included, if you've been blessed enough to have been able to make your primary income be trading,
which is almost nobody we know.
No, I'm not saying it's not. But if you have been blessed, and I consider myself to have been lucky and blessed in terms of timing, of when I did it, because I had no responsibilities whatsoever at the time. I was living at home, and so I could save everything and bankroll all this stuff. So when you go into a slump, there's a different sense of pressure. Like, you'll go into multiple slumps. You don't actually become a trader until you have the thing that was working for you, that was paying you, goes away for a bit, and you have to adjust. When you get out of that, then it's like, okay, you've made it a little bit. And I think that's a really big deal. But the other point that I wanted to say on top of that, it is, all of the most consistent traders have usually been the most boring traders on the floor that are consistently profited month to month. That's another thing that I would throw out there.
There hasn't been any traders consistently profitable. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Well, the thing is like...
everyone can speak for themselves.
No, but I'm speaking statistically.
Everyone can speak for themselves. No, there are traders that have been consistently profitable.
How many do you know, though? Honestly.
Over the years?
Yes.
I can name 7 or 8.
7 or 8. How many traders have you hired?
Oh, I can't even count the number.
Right. So 7 or 8 out of 1,000.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. But I'm telling you what the attributes of those that have, and
Right.
it's and they tend to be what
It's
they
kind of
do
like
is
being a
what they
professional
do is
athlete.
boring.
The
What they
odds might
do is
be better
usually
becoming a professional athlete.
pretty boring. But I can tell you what is no nonsense in 14 years, with 0 hacks
Yes.
and 0 excuses.
Go.
That's btcc.com because they deliver when others don't. Trade Bitcoin up to 500 times leverage, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. With smart copy trading, don't just watch pros, trade like them. Regulated in the US, Canada, and in Europe, and trusted by 6.8 million traders. And we got an exclusive here at Trader TV. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. At btcc.com, pros trade, and now we're pros trade, and now so can you. And CoreWeave, which is up next, so much for all of that good news this morning on CoreWeave.
All right, guys, CoreWeave is next. It is down 4.25%. This one went red to green, though, guys, on this headline. It did pop up into the earlier trading day into about 139, just a little bit shy of 139 on this headline. Shares were trading higher after the company announced an expanded agreement with the one that they already announced with OpenAI, which is valued about $6.5 billion to train its next-gen models. Again, under the terms of this agreement, if CoreWeave has any excess cloud demand left, NVIDIA is obligated to buy it out. We'll wait to hear more of these expanded terms between the two companies, guys.
We'll get back to talking about
can't
stocks,
believe
but I
this.
just think if anybody's interested in any of the conversations that we've had, I want everyone to get into the chat. You got to be part of the chat by liking, and not just by liking, but by subscribing, because there's so many people in here that are just agreeing with what we're saying. Right there, Sean, you need to make an ebook online. I can't do that. I don't have enough time. Sean and Neil are so right. People should listen, you know. No debt, no kids, no dogs. This is what this is exactly the kind of stuff. Although I think you can go with a dog and be a day trader. And there's many traders that are successful day traders. It's not that. It's just as a primary income. Just trust us.
It's a timeline
Less
thing.
than 1%.
Here's the other thing I will say about trading before, because I know we can talk about CoreWeave in a second.
Yeah, anytime.
The other thing I would say
full-time
is
jobs are hosting.
most traders flat out will have like something that works, and like they'll have a time period which it's fantastic, but then like the market's always kind of adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I've known traders that will make so much. We had a guy, and I won't say his name or what he did. It's whatever. It's fine. We tried not to say names and be too specific about it. But we had a guy who was really successful for like a year and a half back when, somewhere around when I started, so like the mid 2000s. And then he had an online business. I don't know what he was selling online. I forget exactly what it was, but family business. And then there was a 3-month period, like 10 years after that, where the dude made more than anybody on the floor made that year. And then after that, 3 months was gone, he was back to his online business. And I'll tell you, he was a good trader. But what he was specifically good at just wasn't always available and really something that worked in the market most times. But there were certain environments where that guy was flat out going to print. And he was just disciplined enough to just sit there and chill out and have a side gig. And then when what he did worked, he was all over that crap. But he wouldn't lose money in the meantime. And he had a great, I think they sold some kind of like kid stuff.
I mean, that's exactly.
Online.
I mean, this
it was
person,
it wasn't an Amazon. It was like an Amazon kind of business.
You know, this guy, one of the 7 traders out of the 1,000 that we both agreed upon that make money. And the thing is that I think you got to have a side gig. But okay, here's CoreWeave, and that just goes to the point, right?
Well, CoreWeave, this is nasty.
Yeah, CoreWeave is. So this is like a trade that. This is what I'm saying about day trading. It's like this comes right into that level again of 140. It's the same thing as Micron, right? Like we're $6 in the money here on these 2 trades. It's just like you gotta be patient and wait for your plays. You know, everybody asking what our full-time jobs are. I mean, you see us here every day, so I think it's pretty obvious where our full-time jobs are. But here's 139 to the downside, 127, 128. You know, so a huge move down. And I just want to say again, like, look where it bounces. You know, there's a lot of opportunities to get into names, and I think that a lot of the time we get over excited about the story behind some of these names. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to look at levels. You know, so sure, missed the long today on that OpenAI news, but there's the fall down in the market as discussed. But then there's the bounce as well, right at some of those low levels. So I just want to say, like, you know, if you guys be patient enough, and I think that's one of the key things. If I had more patience, I think I'd be a much better trader. So that kind of stuff, I think we can all work on, no matter how successful you are or not at trading. There's always things that you can do better. And I think for most of us, it's going to be the patience factor. And I mean, I think we have a good example here with Micron. It's like we never really got blown out. We were losing on it, but then we were patient to load up when we finally saw some kind of a top here, waited for it to happen, break the level, go short, and now you're printing $3 in the money on Micron. So it's like lack of patience as this is ripping up, as we keep trying to find areas, and then once you do, you bam it and you hammer it. You know, so that's kind of like a good example there for Micron. But yeah, CoreWeave, I think, did what we sort of thought it would do there, and you know, bounce off some key levels and whatnot.
Well, I think this is potentially bad. If something doesn't reverse like soon on CoreWeave, to have this kind of news and break what was a big upward trend since the 50-period moving average is a trend break. Close under 130 is a rejection candle on day they got a $6.5 billion deal. I think like bias short on this stock till the 50-period moving average if it closes under 130. That's where I'm going to be looking on CoreWeave. That's just, you don't want to be going down on good news like this, and to give it all back and then some is pretty nasty. So I'll be bias short on this certainly tomorrow and next week if this holds up.
Hey guys, LAC, Lithium America, up for the third day in a row. Great strength, continued strength, I should say, since the 23rd. On the back of this headline, as part of the $2.25 billion loan that LAC is looking to take from the U.S. government. Apparently now there are reports that the current administration is looking to take an equity stake as well in LAC. So up another 17.5% today.
Yeah, this one was a fail though, because I don't know, maybe so much of the move was overnight. Unfortunately, whoops, I want to go that far. Like it
hasn't done much today, has it?
No, like it was the easiest trade ever if you just traded this thing on the gaps the last couple of days. No, you don't know, right? But like, it's like, okay, if you bought it and held it overnight, and if you bought it and held it overnight. But outside of that, you're getting a fraction of what the stock is actually doing. And this is the other thing about investing, by the way. Like most of the money that gets made investing long term is about buying and holding, because the majority of moves in the overall market, it's true of the S&P and the Qs as well, happens in overnight gapping as opposed to intraday, as opposed to like the intraday. So if you're holding overnight, and I'm not saying you should just go and buy every runner overnight. That's not the point here. It's just that this stock, it gave you a little something off VWAP yesterday. Like there were 3 pops off VWAP that gave you 10%. Today, I took the first 2 and not the third. And you know what? I don't even have an excuse. I didn't leave for lunch yet, so I actually could have had the third one off of VWAP. So I should be 1 for 3 because this was at 11 o'clock. I think I went to go to the bathroom or something, but it doesn't matter. Like it went off VWAP 1 time, and that was the one shot you had, almost 10% off the volume weighted average price. But I tried the first 2 just like yesterday because it was like bang, bang, bang off of VWAP, and that was your day on LAC. Not so much. Today, OpenDoor is the one we talked about OpenDoor already. Today, OpenDoor was just a little bit better of a trade. And that 17.5% is deceiving because it didn't really, unless you were dip buying into the bottom, it didn't really give you that much to work with on the long trade. All of it said from the higher time frame, and when you go back and look at this on say a 15-minute, that's gap, hold, so it's firmly squeezing people out. And I think we've learned our lesson by now. If the US government takes a stake in you, it's worth a shot on the long. Show me where that's been proven wrong recently. You can't.
Yeah, no,
I think you can.
No, I mean I really like that the MP trade, right? I think we talked about this yesterday, the MP materials, and it was just like once that deal got announced, you know, with the U.S. government, there was a lot of extension from that point. And I think that the more we talk about critical minerals and metals and all that, I mean, it does make sense to start taking some stake in some of these names. And I mean, LAC, again, like this is where we talk about swing trading, right? There's lots of opportunities to do different kind of styles of trade. And this was a name that was really super beat up. I'm zooming out so you can see that, you know, this $8 actually has a lot. This is gonna take too long. I'm gonna have to go on to e-signal here just to show you a monthly chart for this name. Well, now it's loading up, but you know, we're only right here today. So this to me looks a hell of a lot like a smooth criminal. Breaking $8. Looks pretty sweet to me, right? So that's the IPO area right there. $8 all the way down in, I don't think it was a SPAC in 2018. There wasn't too many SPACs then, but all the way down and then blast off all the way up to $40, danced around again, back in, and then we found a bottom. And then now there's some investment there. So there is room to go. We've seen names like Robinhood, SoFi, lots of different names that made similar sort of loop-to-loops like that. This is a little different because the extensions already happened, but there's the move down, there's the base, there's the break, right? Consider that $8 for LAC, so that's a break of 45. So you might have thought like, oh man, Sean, why are you guys getting involved in Robinhood when it was $10 and went all the way to 45? Well, yeah, now it's on its way to 145, need I say, but nice move there, breaking that. So again, if we just say that's Robinhood, right? We've already looked at SoFi a couple times before as well on a very, very similar pattern, although this is the break that's happening right now for SoFi, so that could still have some legs. And then you go back to LAC, so this is just giving you guys some kind of a hope. And I don't know if it's gonna work. I mean, we don't have that crystal ball, but you know, that's looking to me right there like a decent break area. So you break above 8, I think it's even a stronger bid than maybe we have even right now, and that's pretty unbelievable to say that. So let's wait to see what happens with Lithium Canadian, and we'll go from there. Of course, it's Lithium America, but so located in Vancouver.
I hate to go back to the conversation, but we show the profits on the trading. There's a guy who has made that at Real Trading like a bunch of times. That's all I'll say. And he trades Blue Ocean, sometimes Blue Holler Mountain. He always tries new things and all that stuff. And so he was just watching. I was talking to him about some other stuff.
He's one of the 7.
And so and he was just like, oh yeah, you know what, that's good stuff to sort of let people know. And he throws in there, which I like to say, is that you have to be willing to try anything and everything. And that goes alongside of things will constantly change. Like maybe you don't like trading small caps, but if they're what's working, like during the meme craze, you better be trading meme stocks.
This is just all advice, but like the thing is that like Neil and I managed a floor and we gave people the opportunity to trade everything, right? The stats are still what the stats are, but I do agree with you, man. I mean, I've made that list that I've showed you guys before, and you guys see the style of trading that we talk about. I told you we had huge months. I told you I had a record month, right? And you guys know why. We talked about the IPO trading. So that's the thing, right? And to your point, exactly right. Trade opportunistic situations.
The overnight has been huge, and it won't always be, because once everybody is doing it, it will shift a little bit. So it's getting into something first. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Tesla. The top wicks are fun on Tesla. Randy doesn't like what's going on with Tesla, by the way. Randy has been crapping on Tesla
since 280.
Well, I think at this price, he's right about the pullback. I believe so at this point now.
This is the thing. I want to bring Randy back on because this is the thing. I want to make whatever the price action is now.
No, but he's fundamental about it.
Right, that's what I mean. I want to find out where the price is going to be in 2 weeks.
No, but he's like, not talking. I don't think he's talking price. Randy, when Randy talks about autos and EVs, make sense, then. No, but he's the guy who he's telling you about the company and what he thinks of actual production and this and that, because that's what he reads
I know,
up
but they're having record
but it doesn't
deliveries.
Exactly. But it doesn't always reflect the price in the moment. Like just ask anyone that's been trying to short this. But let's talk about Tesla. I think it's a little different here because someone's selling the boat at 440, and I think you can tell it on the chart.
Finally, a red day for Tesla, guys. Down 4.25%. Was a little bit below 420 at 1.41908. Here's the deal. Tesla's new car registrations in Europe continue to fall. This time they dropped about they dropped about 36.6% in August, reducing Tesla's market share now down to only 1.2% in all of Europe. That's down from 2% market share this time last year. Separately, BYD continues to outsell Tesla in Europe. In fact, BYD's registrations on the continent surged 201.3% year over year, and the EU broader EV market continues to expand, guys, selling about 800,000 vehicles, 4.7% bump year over year. Sadly, Tesla's market share continues to contract.
All right. Well, what's not contracting right now is the concussion market. And right now there's over 3.8 million concussions reported every single year and growing in the USA, although there is no FDA approved treatment. There is NYSE listed. Oragenics is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. The concussion treatment market is projected to reach more than $8.9 billion by 2027. Oragenics, of course, is uniquely positioned to lead the way. If you are suffering or like to learn more, please schedule a meeting today by clicking on that QR code and finding OGen in your market right there. Yeah, I don't, so we've been talking a little bit about the positions I've had. I've been getting a little bit out there. What I meant by Tesla is like, I'm the same kind of ways. Like, I just think that when you're trading on Tesla, some days it's good news, some days it's bad news, and some days it just moves like on no reasons at all. Like, we didn't really get like a huge headline or anything today with regards to Tesla. I mean, if anything, and this is why I was sort of saying that to Randy, like, or about this conversation, was they're going to put up record deliveries. And we've gotten great talk about them out of China as well. A lot of the Chinese companies right here are talking positively, or the analyst, about Tesla, and that they are sort of the cream of the crop. We all talk about BYDDY, right? Oh my God, these guys are eating Tesla's lunch. Are they? This is what... Can't look at it by BYDDF. Maybe let's look at it here on eSignal. And it's a tough business right now. Like BYD year to date rate here is up. So I'll have to check what Tesla's year to date is. But this is $11 to $13. So it's $2 and it's down about 50% from its highs, right? So if you go to Tesla right
maybe
here.
Maybe 5%, maybe.
Yeah.
It
so
was 420.
The problem is Tesla started the year so huge. But BYD's high was up here, right? When we did the daily, and now it's all the way back in. So talk about a tale of two stocks, right? BYDDF right now is near the lows right here, and Tesla's up here. So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of a hedge trade going on. Like this, to me, BYD looks like it could be a bottom here at $13. Shout out to Jeff Mendel, thanks for lunch. But yeah, I think that this $13 marker could be something to buy in BYD if you really do believe that China's here to stay. But I think Neil and I both, and I think most of us and all of us around here agree that the Tesla story, I think, is much more than just cars, right? I think that
has to be.
If you're going to be invested in it, we know the car business, although I love the car, I feel like it's been a great investment, but at the end of the day, the stock actually does look like it's coming back in.
I think so. I was a 220 buyer and 220, 222 because I love the number. But you know, like to me, if you were buying either one of these dips, I was telling this to Randy, like if you were buying this dip or like this dip, and you don't like profit here, as it seems like it's breaking this little upward sloping, whatever you call that. It's not a bull flag, but I guess it could be one. As it's breaking that down, I think you're making a bit of a mistake. We don't get back to VWAP. This was a 3-minute. This was a VWAP short. Kind of put it in, left to stop, went to lunch, and then the whole time we were at lunch, it was actually holding VWAP. So it could have gotten back into this, but you can't worry about that now. It seems to me like 425, like right in here, the opening low. Like that could be a bit of a curl zone, but the other stock I'm actually watching is the next one on the list because that is at VWAP in 180, and that'll be Palantir.
Katina, man, I want to ask you, brother, are you able to add FSD on your car as a SaaS? How much does that bad boy cost on a month? Like 100? They can hear you, Katina, man. $100. So that's. Hold on. So you can add that separate. So you already have all the hardware and everything on the car, eh?
Yeah. So it's actually kind of crazy because I was actually good question. Thanks, Sharif. It's $99 Canadian a month, or, and this is the strange thing, or it's $11,000 to add it one-time fee. So I was thinking about it. It's like $100 a month, 12 months. It's only $1,200 a year. So it's like if I'm only going to hold the car for 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to pay for FSD, right? So, yeah, sorry, I was looking at that.
Well, the other side of it, you always say that you enjoy driving anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, so...
Katina, I have another question, though. Is it a 1-year commitment, or can you get it on a month by month?
I believe you can cancel it month by month. So, because my kids want me to do it. Every time, it's just a slide. Like my credit card is
awesome.
Yeah, so you could do it. So I was thinking about like if I have another trip down to Boston or something like that,
exactly.
I might just do it. Sit back, relax, let the car drive down there. But
Fantastic.
the thing for me is I only live 5 or 6 miles from the office, so I really enjoy sort of the street, like driving and cutting in and out. Maybe I shouldn't say this. My insurance company listening, but in and out and really putting the car to work. So I don't use the FSD in inner streets, but I think it would be great on highway. Like if you're a Randy that's driving 2 hours every day or something, I think it'd be. No, not. I'm just saying. I think that's the use. That's the use of full self-drive.
That's when you.
And the other thing too is I think it's going to be interesting for robo-taxi. Because if I could get FSD on my car, maybe you could even turn your cars into a robo-taxi. So like I'm here working, meanwhile my car's driving everybody around. It returns here at 4 o'clock. I don't know. Anyways,
I think that's going to be a lot of people using it for that. That's the idea that people want to use it.
I want to know, like, how many of you in the chat actually have FSD? So let us know.
Howard just said
if you have it, and there it is.
Howard goes $99 a month. Model 3 drove me from Buffalo to Fort Lauderdale.
There it is. Yeah. So $99 a month. So see, there you go.
And I drive far from work and back. Use FSD daily. It's a lifesaver. So there's plenty of people. Yeah, well, look, anecdotally.
I think it's the same as you. Like, you're taking the train every day. That's what FSD is. Like, so for $100 a month, I don't got to pay gas. I don't got to pay anything. I could just let the car drive me to and from work, like every day. But anyways, I don't have FSD, but I think it's a great product. And for only $100 a month, I mean, I spend $100 a month on.
We'll be in trouble too. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Is last one on the list here, PLTR. No new headline today for Palantir, but they had this headline yesterday with Boeing. They're looking at using Boeing for their entire, Palantir's. Boeing is looking at using Palantir's AIP software, guys, both from an internal perspective as well as production. Palantir on the day, relatively flat, up 0.08.
Yeah, Palantir, this was one where, another top wick. But Palantir, the fact that Palantir is green on the day, I want to say is impressive. No questions asked. But the manner in which it got there was just dirt McGurk. And it's another stock that has been on I don't want to call it obvious, but sometimes when a stock consolidates or shows you shows you a moving average hold, it's accumulation and you know what's going on. It made its run at the all-time high, and effectively you can make the argument that it got there. So you make the argument that, okay, it got close enough to the all-time high, we're getting a pullback. Unless something drastically changes here, it's not the best drawn, but if you connect it there, it's holding essentially the trend line from that 50-period hold. So just on a dime is where it turned. Now, I shorted the first couple of moves, good to bad. That was the bad one was in here, actually in the middle. And then we had a short off 77. I did grab the 84 short, and I'm just shorting it off of VWAP right now in front of 180. So the only, the good thing is sitting out the part that is not a short, but not reversing. Because when it got back through 177, you're short, this is this, I would say something like there's structure, it's flat bottom breaking under here, so there's pressure on it under here. So when the short stops working under there is a long reverse that sometimes you got to be open and willing to. And I came in today being like, I only kind of like the long in two stocks, so I only really tried the long in two stocks. And Palantir, when Palantir is going for a V shape, it's the one stock that seems like it's always worth it if it puts in a V-shaped recovery, because it's that type of thing. If the market's going to recover, it's going to recover more. If the market's going to go up, it's going to go up more. If the market's going to go down, it's going to go down more as well. So give it a chance when it gives you the V-shaped recovery on PLTR. But if it breaks view up, I'm jumping out of this thing. Because you can be wrong for a bit. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. That's the quote. And that's the thing about trading. You will be wrong. You will be wrong a lot. You will make mistakes. You will lose money. The other thing I like to say is anytime you put a trade in, so if I'm short here and risking to 40, short 73 risking to 40, then that 70 pennies is you've spent that on the trade. So it's out of your account, and then now you're just your trade makes it back. And I sort of treat every trade that way. regardless. It's whatever your in is and take your out, you're spending that, and then understand that that is gone because that's what you've spent on the trade. But impressive bounce for Palantir. The fact that it will hold this wick, unlike, this is the opposite of CoreWeave. Like CoreWeave had that nasty topping tail wick. Palantir is going to have a nice bottoming tail wick. If this day closes green, then this is a stock that I'd say is primed to take out its all-time high. But I also, and we said that a couple of weeks ago, and it kind of came close enough. If you're arguing about another extra dollar for it to actually get the all-time high, it's disingenuous. It got there.
Yeah, I got some out at 160, then again at 180. Like, I'm just trying to like step out of Palantir, right? It's like when it fell back in here, I thought maybe I'm not even trying to get out. I just think it's, the PE eventually is going to be in question. And so when you're running this thing from the lows, to where we are right now, it's just, I took a little bit out there at 160. I just took another little bit out at 180. And yeah, sure, you don't feel great when it keeps on ripping to the highs, but this is why you always want to leave something on for the runner, right? And I mean, we have huge trades in our account right now, and none of them are Palantir. And to expect this name to make this kind of a move when the market was like tanking, it's tough to sit in. But then just like we find the bottom in the market, Palantir also finds a bottom. So it wasn't rocket science. I mean, look what's happening now. There's the move down in the stock market. There's the move back up in PLTR. So I just think that there's a lot of money running to this name, and I don't really see it stopping anytime soon. But all right, it's 242. Look, we wrote down earlier Micron, right? We wrote down Micron here, and we loved that short. We said that, we were going to do a couple things with it. The first thing was short. I cannot believe Ethereum that we got stopped at the high of the day, but that's trader's life. 31 to 31. But anyways, there's Micron. 155. Where did I write that here? Waiting for 155 to crack, So obviously, as this name is ripping up right here, we're not getting 155, and I'm just like not believing in the name. And fortunately, we turn what was a decent loss, we talked about that, into now, still not going to be green on it, but into a much, because we got out too many on the way down, but into a really nice looking trade. And the reason why I bring up 155 is that's exactly where it bounced. So when we came back from lunch and saw this was down near 155, we're getting out, we're getting more out. So yeah, it's bounced now $1 into this level, so I still like Micron, but it just goes to show you, sometimes you got to believe in what you're doing. That was a keystroke error right there, by the way. We didn't mean to add more shares short to that. But anyways, there's the move down on the TQs, which is why my average price right now seems like it's a little lower than it should be. It is still up here, $100.87. So, we go short. Eventually hits the top and then whaps down. So these aren't like the greatest trades. It's just, I just want to show you that you could be wrong early, and that's where you got to have some kind of discipline, like stopping out right there. So stop the bleeding from happening. So you down $100, let's just say, and then you wait for it to make a sort of a move up. And I still have the bias short. So then once it comes in beautifully all the way there to that downside. So yeah, man, trading is definitely not for the weak at heart, but it can be something that's profitable, and you just got to be as patient as you can be, pretty much with everything, and make sure that you're trading sizing accordingly. Like, there's no way I would put like 5,000 shares or something here unless I had a tight stop. When it's bleeding on the way up, make sure you're trade sizing accordingly and understand when your go spot is. And I try to do the best to sort of inform like you guys about, I tell you, I'll have 3 units here, 2 units there. And I think that's important to know the amount of risk that we have in certain ideas to understand the confidence that maybe we have on the trades, which is why we put out our notes. Like today I've traded TQs, Micron, and Ethereum. That's exactly what's on the list. So we're trying to do the same thing, and we're going to look for some more trades. So let's just figure this all out. Like it's 2:45. We're getting ready into the hour of power. Costco reports tonight. Adair and I will be on this. They're not having a great day today, down 0.63. Retail going to be in a little bit of a problem. It's been a very, very sketchy couple weeks here for Costco.
Well, I mean, it's funny that you smell paint when they're painting.
Is that what it is? I don't smell something like.
No, it's dry fall. You smell it? That's dry fall paint.
I don't smell it as much.
No?
It's not like oil-based, but it's
It's not like the strong paint smell, I find.
It's not the same
not
as
like
the
a
regular.
headache.
No,
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You just know that it's happening, that's all. There's a program buying on Apple.
When are you here till? You're already too late already. You're going to go home.
It's Thursday.
Oh, you're gone now. Okay. Safe travels.
It's tomorrow that he's not going to be
See you
here.
Monday. What a guy.
I'll have your cookies, brother.
What a guy.
You'd be in trouble.
You're in trouble if you don't bring the... You can't say you're bringing Gold Guy cookies and not bring them.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
I have to take the. It's ridiculous. Like, anyways,
Bring as many as you can bring them in here. As literally as many.
I might just bring the case.
Why wouldn't
I
you
might
just bring the case?
No, my wife is like already earmarked some, and like Erin wants to do.
wow.
Like, here's the thing. Like, she wants to still go door to door. So if I feel like
I don't let my
we
kids
only
do
got the one case. Well, the thing is, there's like our neighborhood is like a lot of young families, so we know everybody. So like on our
Right.
street,
Go to specific doors.
yeah, exactly. It would be fine. So if we don't have any to do that with, she'll be a little upset. And I feel like all of them are earmarked already, which is kind of crazy. So there was a bit of a program buy here in Apple off of VWAP. So there is your program buying. It just broke out the high. A couple people were mentioning it in there. Bernard, interesting question. Are you looking to load up some CRM here? Salesforce? We can have a look. Just very quickly though, I was also going to mention I got out at 9 on OpenDoor. Now it's breaking out, so up 11% OpenDoor. I don't think it gets to 11 today, but the squeeze is certainly ongoing. At this point, I don't know about a VWAP dip, so something pulling back into the prior high at 9, and then trying to catch either like a bottoming tail or like a break of trend, like trend break or bottoming tail back into $9 will be the next play for me on OpenDoor, and I can have a look at CRM. There's another company. We always get these questions it's always about the stocks that are, oh no, I can't look that one up on eSignal.
It's the second time I got a question about CRM today.
I can't look at eSignal on that one because I'm missing, I can pull up the monthly on our charts. No, there's been a lot about CRM and like Lulu and Adobe, like those types of names. And of course I just went to OpenDoor somehow, even though this is CRM and CRM's on the New York. No, everyone always wants to try to catch the bottom on a stock. I always feel like I'd rather be involved when it wants to rally. Like when you look at this on the monthly chart, when you go to like the big high time frame, like as it's been falling, like where does it look like you want to be sure that we're closing above? Look at the bottoming tails and the turns off the 50 period on the monthly and this $230 level. So yeah, with patience, this month is almost over. We're gonna have a bottoming tail wick and a close above that month. I think that sets you up to grab something above the 50 period, and then your risk is to the prior bar low, and there you go. But it hasn't actually closed holding that level yet. We still have a week to go in the month. So in that higher time frame, sure, I'm looking at CRM, just not quite yet.
All right, everybody, exciting news, of course, for Canadian sophisticated traders. You gotta be sophisticated. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, including 3 times bull, so you see me trading TQQs, and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P and the TSX 60, as well as semiconductors and US Treasuries. And the thing is, right now, they are offering a special fee rebate. So they are dropping management fees, so you're gonna get a better price on the list, to just 65 basis points until December the 31st. So make sure you get involved. These ETFs also, which is the important part, employ currency hedging to seek and neutralize US dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, please check out betapro.3a/3 times daily to learn more. We want to thank Global X and Beta Pro for their continued sponsorship of the fine program that you are watching. Today we had Oaklo make a move down. Oaklo today, the story here, of course, was they completed the full-scale flow testing of prototype fuel assembly for its SMR and received neutral rating, which is, I guess, okay, with a 117 price target from Goldman Sachs. So, when that price target came out today at 117, obviously, yesterday trading at 130 to 140, that 117 not loved there today, but it does make a move down into 108. And as we said, man, price don't lie for Oaklo. And right here, it looks like we bounced off so many times, even in the pre-market, off this 106, 108 area, that I don't think it's rocket science right here where it bounced off when the market opened. It came right back into that 110 area, 108, 110 area, bounced off there. You got $12 back up there to the upside. So this was a huge opportunity for Oaklo today, or Oaklo, to come right back in. I don't know if it's Oaklo, Oaklo, potato. Again, great name, but down 9%. I think it's time to take advantage of that. If you do like the space, right, get involved with it. Take advantage of dip buy opportunities. You know, you might have got one in SMR earlier today as well, down to 36.50. It just double touched it, and now you're up about $1 from there. So these trades like go with the wind. And tomorrow they could be right back up. You know, the wind blows the other way, and next thing you know, this is up 5 or 6, 7%. So as long as we're holding some of these bottoms, I just showed you 108 there on Oaklo. I think that this SMR level of 34, 35 is also something that you want to pay attention to. So it's these levels right there that are worth it to me. And we almost got into there today. So, you know, we'll talk about it when it gets into there, but I think a bid, like if you get long or SMR or any of these names around this level, I think the only problem is breaking like this sort of, that's $29, $30. It goes all the way back to December. So I'm pretty confident that these levels are ones that you want to pick on. So breaking below 30 is a problem, but we're nowhere really near that yet. So a couple more negative stories, and maybe we do get an opportunity to buy this name at $30. But I'm going to let the market come in for these stocks and not try to buy, even though it's been 5 straight down days for SMR. I think we got to be specific and wait for the right price there, despite getting decent Oaklo news today, still down 9%. We'll go to Adair, and then we'll come back and see what's going on.
We're just getting more reports here about the TikTok US situation. As I reported earlier, we're now seeing that Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX are likely to be the 3 major backers behind this TikTok deal. They'd have collectively a 45% stake, but we weren't sure how that was going to be broken up. Now I'm seeing that each of these companies are going to have a roughly 15% stake. Of course, that would comprise the 45% total stake in the new TikTok US, which is, I guess, what they're calling it. And the investors make it a board seat each. So not only is Oracle going to be investing in TikTok, reportedly it could also end up with a seat on the board. Though, again, these are just reports. If I get confirmation or more details, I'll be sure to let you know. Back to you.
Yeah, they can't seem to get Oracle off the bottom, that's for sure, though. Like, it's Oracle, man, as much as you keep hearing about how strong Oracle has been since its earnings because of that gap up, like, if you didn't get the gap up, everyone's just been taking profit since it made that gap up. But I want to remind everybody here, and look, I see Tony in the chat talking about PanW and apologize, asking about Marvell, but if you don't use $ in the ticker, then we don't get to have it on this beautiful graphic that Fabian made for us so that we can visualize and see. It's called a visualizer.
Yep.
Funny that, right? Fancy that.
Stock.
We can shows us exactly what you were talking about in our chat. What is our chat interested in? What is our trading community interested in the moment? Intel just broke out. Now Rigetti's going to show up there. Oaklo, going to be on the board. So make sure always $, then the ticker. I'll show you by saying $, and I'll pick like, I don't know. I'll pick something that isn't in front. Like I won't say Intel, so I just type IBM, and that'll show up at some point. And IBM had some positive news, and it was running. But Intel just broke the high of the day. And we were joking around about, well, we weren't joking about it. We were just observing the fact that if the U.S. government takes a stake in you, it's probably pretty good. And Apple, they want Apple to take a stake. Whether that happens or not, I would remain skeptical, but it doesn't matter. The stock's going up based on this. You had SoftBank invest in them. We had Nvidia pop $5 billion because Nvidia's been dropping cash left, right, and center because when you print cash, you got to do something with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can talk about what they may or may not be buying with some of that goodwill, China deal. But either way, Intel, look, I came in thinking I'm going to look for a short. It was pressing into the 50 period on the daily. I'm like, if it gets to 33, I'm looking short in Intel. So it got to 33, and I looked for a short. And after that, I was like, well, maybe don't do it again. We were away at lunch. But it's broken out now. So it's 9%, and just like Open did, you've now taken another leg up. This looks like it was just technical going with the market, like no news story hit. This was just probably some stops running to get it going higher. I don't love the idea of a 34 break at 255, but I do like the idea of a dip after a fail break. So if it fails the break of 334, then a pullback into the prior highs I'm going to look at. So I'm looking at Intel and Open for a very similar pattern. Like I want Open to give me a dip into 9, and I want this, I don't want it to fail break, but the entry I want is a fail break dip buy here on Intel. So strong day for Intel. We were talking about this and saying there's some room for this to, I still have a monthly chart up there. I was wondering, it's kind of funny. There we go. I go back to the daily chart because the level we were talking about this morning was on the daily chart, not the monthly. And sort of going all the way back into July of 2024, right before this had its, like the dump into the 19 low. And these tops were right into this 37.38. So that's the next stop. Now that you're breaking this out, you're headed, seems like that 37.38. The momentum is clearly here on the stock. It's been holding the lows for a while, and it's now finally breaking out of that bottom. And just to the point, someone made a comment that was kind of true the way I framed it, where I said, well, I'm not looking to, like on CRM, like I'm not looking to catch a falling knife or buy that bottom, but then I'm still looking for a pattern off the bottom. That's to me the thing. Like, I don't think I am ever trying to get an entry on a stock where I'm thinking on the long-term account or a swing account where I'm trying to have the low. I'm only ever looking for like structure off the bottom that'll get me in after a low has been made. Because that's the game that I try to play. Like if I'm trying to get the actual low, I don't like that strategy because to me a stock downtrends for a reason. I would rather be involved sometime after it's made a structured bottom and then I have longs to work off of that. That's what I would much prefer. For now, we'll look for this to pull back. It just got to 33.98, so pennies within 34. Looking for a dip into, it's about 33.60. If you can do any one of these little consolidation holds on a dip or like a trend break, like this is an example. Trend down for a little bit, do a trend break, hold, go long. That's what I'm looking for this afternoon on INTC. Satinderjeet, a double bottom of a structure bottom or closer. Yeah, even like if a stock double bottoms, like I'm not trying to go long off that second bottom. That's not even like, I'm not even a huge fan of that. Like here, like someone might take, there's one low, there's a double bottom, and that's enough, and they want to go into the long. Like the longs that I actually like are, I'll take a shot long in a spot like here. I didn't on this particular stock, but it makes a bottom and then holds the 50 period. And then I want to go long off the 50 period hold into the low or into the retakes the 50 period. Like those are, like I like that long better. Like I like a long trying to get in here or in here, as it looks like it's breaking the trend. Alibaba was a great example of that. And we were talking about that last year. I believe it was last year. Sometimes times fly, and I could be talking about 2023 and not 2024. But Alibaba had a similar structure. Yeah, it would have been back in the last year. Take a look at this one on the daily. There's your lows. Anywhere in here, it's making a bottom. And you can be the best, and you can capture that. Or it can break both moving averages, and you're in somewhere in here. When it takes a 200 period, you could be in at 85 when the low is 75, or you could be in here at like 90 something and the low is 75. I mean, you could get lucky and actually just happen to have 75 be the bottom. Or I can buy into it when it's retaking the moving average, and then I've got myself an out. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm never good enough to catch the bottoms on stocks. Like you might get lucky every once. Like Webull was an example. Like I wanted. I
don't think it's about being good. I think it's about what you're saying. It's like wait for the confirmation.
Remember Webull?
Yeah.
Like Webull just sat here. Like we liked it in front of 10 because it was a SPAC, man.
But then you got the confirmation of
and then
that level holding.
It held for a month.
Right.
This one's hilarious because it held for a single month. If a stock holds a key level for a month, and you're like, oh, this looks like a pretty good level, and then it holds it for 1 month, we should have. If in complete hindsight, should have doubled up and just been willing to scalp a lot of it because we're doubling up there and the risk was so tight. I kind of don't like what I saw on Webull at the 50 period today either. That's a different story because Webull looked like it was going in 3 days in a row now. That's 3 days in a row. Oh man, what's happening on Webull at 1450 in the 50 period on the daily? Rejection, 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 close underneath. This one needs to go the way of SoFi, Robinhood, and live up to its name a little bit more.
Yeah, or like bullish.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Stock was bearish for a while.
I bet you that's up today.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Actually, no, probably not.
All right, I should
I shouldn't say that. No, I shouldn't.
All right.
It's probably bounced off a low.
Yeah, it's down quite violently there, Neil. I should have bet Neil. But yeah, no, just to that point, this is, see what I'm saying? And what Neil's saying? I don't think there's anything else. I've already said to you, I'm a very, very simple man. I only trade off support and resistance. There's nothing else. And so right into here, you could get that break 54 all the way up. And I would say you might want to, I mean, look, it's literally the exact trade that we based out for everybody. I was sitting here trying to spit as much knowledge as I possibly can every single day. I try to do this. And we talked about Big Bear AI, where our outs were 650. The first out was 650, the next out was 750, right into there, and the third out was 850, and it just went tap, 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 fall. So it's like, look, if this hits 850 and goes to 1050, then sure, you're wrong on getting out at 850 because you could have done better. But being right or wrong versus being patient versus being impatient, they're not the same thing. It doesn't. You could be right and wrong at the same time, and I'm happy being right or being wrong because it filled into the idea that we had, and that was just basing it off of past areas. If it blasts through, that's why I say hold that 30 to 40%, for the dream, and that's why it's like Palantir's been great, but getting out on the way up, right? I'm going to look back and say, why did I get some out at 50? Oh, it's because you're long at 9 and it went to 50. Okay, well, then why'd you get out at 75? Well, because that's 50% more than where you first thought the first support was going to be. And then when you got some out at $100, you're like, wow, that's the $100 level. I'm going to get it out every time. And then anyways, as you can see, and I think a good example of that right now is Alibaba. I mean, Alibaba right now has had, and again, pigs get slaughtered, and we talk about that all the time. You're being a pig right now if you're not taking something out in and around here of Alibaba. You just based and gapped. So I feel like this 175, is there more news coming for Alibaba? Yes, but do I know it's going this way or that way? I do not. But what I do know is that if you bought this stock 3 weeks ago at 120, you just made 50%, right, in 3 weeks. So that's where I think that, hey, man, go out, buy yourself a nice iWatch or a stupid cash cow hat or whatever you want to buy, but treat yourself to profits because they are very, very hard to come by. But and I'm thinking about doing the same thing on Marvell, but we could talk about that when we get back. Ooh, my chance to win a Molson Canadian Yeti cooler. I just got emailed from the Maple Leafs. Ooh.
Yeti coolers
I
are
love
amazing.
Yeti coolers.
They're the
I
greatest
don't think
product.
I'll be winning anything here. All right, what's up, Adara?
You keep an eye here on Apple and Amazon. I have Apple up here, not really reacting to this story. We're seeing reports that both companies are amongst the companies being probed by bipartisan senators. Not sure why they're probing these companies. If I get more details, I'll let you know. But either way, Amazon, Apple, and apparently other companies facing a bipartisan probe from senators. Now, also, I'm seeing now Wall Street Journal reporting Intel is also approaching Taiwan Semi about investments or manufacturing partnerships. It's the second day in a row. It's actually been less than 24 hours that we've had Intel reportedly approaching a company for any type of deal or investment. Now Intel calling up Taiwan Semiconductor. So keep an eye on Intel and TSM and also on AMZN and AAPL. Back to you.
I mean, I don't know.
Intel's
got that.
It's like Tyrone Biggums, man.
Yeah, they've got that itch for some cash.
Yo, can I hold $1 billion, please? Can I hold a bill? What is going on here?
We were at lunch and we heard that story of one of our friends. Some guy was looking for millions of dollars to buy some of these treasuries.
Treasury plays.
It's like, this is all getting, hold on, I have to enter this contest right here.
No,
What's my
it's
birthday?
what's going on? But it's hilarious because it's going up on this, and if they get another one of these investments, it's going to continue to rally. That just put a kibosh on the dip buy because Intel, before that headline, it was dipping into 30. It was dipping into here. It looked like it anyways. And now you made another leg higher on that Apple headline. So, right, bipartisan probe into Apple. Apple makes fresh high on the day. I mean, did Amazon go down on that? Okay, well, Amazon kind of went down on that news. Apple sure as heck didn't. Apple's still looking incredibly
Apple
strong.
Doesn't deserve a probe here.
Make tons of money.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't know. My 2 cents on this is everyone complains about how much tax these guys pay. Well, sometimes these fines act as a de facto tax. You get too big. There's not really crazy enforcement of antitrust laws in the U.S. to a certain degree, and I think that's fair with the way technology goes. And You can get into a whole discussion. Like look at Alphabet. By the time you're actually cracking down on them on antitrust, the entire advertising space is going to get blown up anyways by AI. So it's like by the time the machine gets to it, things are changing enough that you probably can only slap a fine on them because they have a strong argument that they're not going to have the same competitive advantage. And I think you make these fines, Apple will pay it, whatever it ends up being, if there ends up being one, and so will Amazon. But Amazon's going down for multiple reasons. One, remember, their cloud number was not, well, I'm on Intel here because I'm watching Intel. Their cloud, last quarter, their cloud growth was the weakest of the big three. And then if you throw another comp on it, Alibaba's cloud growth was also more impressive. That was in the 20s. These guys were the only one of the big three in the teens. I think Azure was like 31%, and then Google was in maybe the mid 20s or so year over year growth, and then Amazon was at like 18%. So I think they're going into a different bucket here and getting punished a little bit more than the Apples of the world. Adara, again?
Yeah, just keep an eye here on Netflix. The Athletic reporting that Netflix will be the exclusive home of MLB's, or Major League Baseball's, opening day next season, featuring the Yankees, Giants in the prime time. So Netflix hosting I guess having some type of deal here with MLB with regards to their opening day. Back to you.
It's like the amount of services that you have to catch every single game. There was the stat. What was the number?
I think here in Canada that will still be. I think it's still displayed on your local TVs.
Yeah, it's different. It's different everywhere. But I think in the NFL, if you wanted to stream every single NFL game, right, like every game, but you're doing it all by streaming, you would it would cost you $630 in subscriptions to pull it off.
Right.
I read it. Like,
the content you
I
get
just read an article telling me that. I used DAZN because Canada's considered international, so like I get all the games, and there's like no blackouts, no local issues with that. So I think it's been fantastic for me. But it does get to that point where you're just paying for too many streaming services here. But that's a good get. It's a good get to get live sports. Obviously, the big one is going to be the NFL. Like nothing matters as much as the NFL, but the war is on, the battle is on to make sure you get as many properties, and Netflix needs to get their hat in the game. Like,
ESPN just got WWE as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Well, WWE's huge.
Yeah, well, that's Netflix has a huge deal with them.
They got one as well.
That's why it's like the content providers is where you win, right? I mean, we could see, here's TKO, right? They recently merged or bought WWE from the McMahon family, and I don't even know what this stock has been doing, but looks like it wants to. I mean, this is the content, right? I mean, oh wow, okay, wow. Now don't I feel silly? Watch. Oh,
TKO is insane.
Stop going lower.
Right does that to you.
Okay.
For dramatic effect.
So this is January 24. Right here, and the thing is, it's not like WWE is an entity that we've never heard of or anything like that.
I haven't.
This is just straight fire. Like I've spent so much money buying tickets and all that. I should just bought the stock straight up, man. This is TKO. This is it's knocking out the competition right now. That's for sure. This is January, so I think year to date, January right into here, 140 to 195. So it's not like one of those huge runners. I mean, but you would take 30% year to date most years, especially, well, I mean, this year there's going to be stocks that have beat that, but watch out for the 200 period. There goes TKO again. That's UFC and WWE, and there might be a couple smaller factions that are involved in there as well. All right, just go back over. It is now power hour, so let's look for some trades. We told you that we already got stopped out at the high of the day there for Ethereum. It is bouncing right now off of VWAP. I actually think this is a trade right now, so I'm close to putting that on. Against this VWAP. I actually am going to do that right now with Ethereum. So, let's just try it right now. We'll try whatever unit or so at this area. So we just put it on. So my thing's scrolling at the bottom. So we have MU, we have the TQs, and we just put on Ethereum. So we're into this right now, ETHA against VWAP. That's 29.80. Look, man, I do this live. Every time I'm in position, I show you guys where I'm putting the outs, what I'm doing, 86. So that level's 80 right there. But we'll take, that's 77. So we'll take a little bit more. And look, I mean, my stop outs aren't always going to be right. Case in point, right here. I stopped out at the high of the day. I almost changed that level, and I think I was talking about it live when I was doing it, but we were also short the TQs and Micron, so I just didn't want the market to completely blow up against us, but that was $30.41 is where my stop was, and if we zoom back out, it's, you know why my stop is there. I told you I'm a very simple man, just trading off support and resistance, and right there, came into play again, and normally I give it a few pennies, but we were getting a little, not overwhelmed, but we just had too many shorts on. And then, needless to say, bye-bye. So this goes back to that discipline that we're talking about, and this is why I'm glad that we have so many of you with us every day. This loss was 25 short, out 41s. That's 16 cents worth of a loss. Right? Look at these losses. This is a great short, great short, great short, you know, in, stopped out. Right? Then we took it again, stopped out. So this stop out right here is 45s or so, out 75. So that kind of sucked to get stopped out for 35 cents or so. But then we got back in once it developed the top. So this short right here, just as an example, 158.65 short. My out would have been right here, probably 159. So 35 cents worth of a stop. Now in the money to $3. So sometimes it'll pay off for you, and sometimes you got to wait for it. And I already said, like, I'm well aware of when I go wrong and whatnot. And when I'm feeling some kind of ways is when I'm wrong. And that means like I just keep on shorting. It's not at my levels. It's blown past my levels, this and that. And I just be stubborn with it. That's that whole, like, be better as a trader and try to be a little more patient and a little more disciplined. So I think I've done a good job of doing that. And now the next key is, and shout out to Adam DeLuce, is you got to have, in order to actually make money, if you're going to trade this way, you have to have the big winners. You can't just stop out every single time, because it's going to be hard enough to put on, even to go 50-50 is hard enough. So the winners have to be, and they don't have to be $3, they don't have to be, they could be 50 cents. If your losers are 10 cents and your winners are 50 cents, then you can at least have a 5-to-1 kind of ratio. And I think that's the key to some kind of success. So, but that's what we're doing right now. Marvell, just quickly, and then we'll go throw it back. I gotta get some water anyways. I mean,
oh my God.
You know, unfortunately, we don't get filled at 76 today. But Marvell was a stock, man. This stock is on one, and I should message our buddy. He was in the high school chat that we have talking all about it, so everybody now knows about Marvell. I called Jackson. I said Marvell is Jackson Dart, the starter for the Giants, is the new Marvell. Is Marvell?
Well, hold on a second.
Because this stock's not even at year highs yet, Neil. This this stock has a lot of room to grow.
You don't actually like Jackson Dart.
No, but does Jackson Dart have upside? Never played an NFL, never started an NFL game. So you got to start somewhere.
Look, man, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like,
we drafted Jackson Dart down here.
I know you like Marvell. It's just that the history of. This is a football thing. Yeah. The history of Ole Miss QBs that are not Eli Manning converting into the NFL is not good. Oh yeah. It's like really bad. Like it's like just Eli Manning's the only one that actually ended up holding up. So that's my skepticism of Dart. But I wish him all the best.
I don't say that Jackson Dart's going to win anybody a fantasy championship or anything. It's just this is what I equate it to, and that is that we bought Marvell obviously on earning. Well, first of all.
If you said the Jalen Milroe, I'd be happier.
But Jalen Milroe doesn't even have a shot yet. I mean, at least Jackson Dart is here.
But if you're talking about like an upside play, to me, Jalen Milroe's upside is top.
Well, maybe.
I'm nitpicking. It's just I'm not a Dart guy.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But I'm a Marvell guy, and I mean, we've been touting this play honestly. Since down, I mean, you guys know, anybody that's been here has known, and then we did make a little bit of a silly play. Oh, silly Sean. We did make some silly plays there with Marvell getting involved before earnings, which was right there. It dipped down. We did our 3-day rule, and now all of a sudden, you know, Jackson Dart has turned into some sort of a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback here, and we don't even have to have him start a first game. So there it goes, man. Marvell, we'll see. I think it has a hunch in it, man. So we're waiting for that to come through. That would be a pretty good return in a couple months. So let's wait to see if Marvell can have it for us. It looks like so far, so good. So
I think we got a couple of super chats.
All right, let's do them.
So we'll get to, oh shoot, I can't find the second one.
Are the super
I'll
chats
get
about
there in a
Jackson
second.
Dart? Or?
No, AMD broke trend, so I'm in AMD. I've had a few shots of this one. The best, the 160, but green to red, and then trend break from like the 160 breakout. So the 160, I was short 160, so I like that level. And then when it held 160, trended up, broke trend here, so out above that prior bar, and then we'll look to see if he can get, I don't think it gets to VWAP, that's a little crazy. I thought there were 2 super chats, I'm gonna go to fan funding and try to find it. Yeah, there were 2. CTFIO, LEU thoughts, and safe in the chat. I don't know this I don't know Centrus Energy on the Amex here, so I'm gonna pull it up. I don't really know anything about it. But safe, fun to be here all day, every day. Agree with you, can't full-time day trade for most people. Sidebar, how long do you think AI will drive tech stocks?
Ooh.
Okay, so is the question, how long do you think AI will be the primary driver of the stocks, or how long do we think the AI move will go? Those are 2 different things. I think being the primary driver of tech stocks, that's not going anywhere. But I think it feels like we're in a pullback mode for all of these. Like right now, things have gotten a little, like frothy is kind of the word. And sometimes what'll happen is by the time you get to the rate cuts, or like that one cycle, or like the pullback in the economy, things have started to find some kind of little issues in the armor there a little bit. So I think we're due for, not every stock will have an actual correction. And when I was talking about Apple, let me get off this LEU for a second. Someone had asked why I thought Apple was due for a bit of a run. Well, because if the AI story ends up being a little bit weaker for a bit, these guys aren't the AI play, and that's been true for a while, so they should get punished the least, in my opinion. So I think some relative strength will just rotate to Apple for a little bit and move away from, Alphabet off the highs, and to a certain extent, you see how NVIDIA can't seem to break through 185, people selling that over and over again. So I think it's the theme that'll matter. I just don't know that we're in the same run until a few things have to break right. Maybe it'll be NVIDIA when it starts going again. I don't know. But as far as it was LEU, Centrus Energy you were asking about. Without even, we were just having a conversation about ringing the register, without even anything about this fundamentally. This seems like a moment. Like, if it's me, I know people say don't sell at the highs. I get that. I absolutely don't trim at the highs. But when I see a stock that consolidates off exactly $200, that broke away off exactly $100, that's double tapping and giving you a break at $300 right now, yeah, I'm 10 times out of 10 ringing some of the register there and then letting the rest ride, because I always feel much more comfortable doing that. And I'm really boring when it comes to profit takes like that. Like, I'll just find myself a reason. Like, it literally break away at 100 in May. Then consolidation breakout the 50 period at exactly $200, then tops out at the 300. Sure, you want to hold on to something when it's going, but that's an obvious sort of take profit area to make sure you bag something, that's all. And yeah, you've got a good one going on. No questions asked. So AMD, only new position for me there, and Intel might be breaking the trend. It's a little different. Intel might actually be breaking the trend here of the day. Instead of dipping into 33.8, this is the VWAP trend line is breaking as we speak. So into AMD. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to have a trend break in 2 stocks that are in the same space when one of them's up 9%. So I'm not gonna dip by because it's breaking trend, but I'm not gonna get into the short because I'm in the AMD short. But OpenDoor, that's a different story, right? OpenDoor is pulling back and now trying to hold this $9 level. So yeah, see if we can hold on to this 9. Seems like it might be off of that high, but if I can get something with some tight risk here, closing at 03 or 04, and then risk it to 98, then that'll make some sense for me on OpenDoor. And then after that, I'll have a quick look at maybe some of the names you guys are looking at, because it's all the same. I look up, and LEU topped that list. And then Intel, and we've already talked Marvell and Tesla. HIMS is the only one on the list that we haven't talked about today on the stock visualizer. No specific story, but it's always a popular one. I don't know.
Yeah, people like him. I mean,
there's
there's like a lot of risk associated with it, right? So it's a pretty dangerous thing to trade him. So we could definitely look at that. I just want to give a quick little update here because the market, although I feel like it's going to fall down. Like I said, we're just going to trade off of lines here. So, you know, that looked like a decent spot. So if we can break above here, then we can stop out of our TQQ trade. But for right now, it's not doing that. So we're going to take advantage of it bouncing off of the 200 period moving average and get another piece out. It's $1 in the money. So we're going to do that. The trade that we sort of got carried away, we don't have very many shares in this, but you know my stop is now 10 cents away. This does go 10 cents in the money for us. It did go into 60s there. So if you're going to risk 10 cents, you should take profit, at least some kind of profit at 10 cents. And that came in there right into the 200 period, and I missed it. So boo for me on that one, which leaves me no choice. Well, we always have a choice. But there we go, taking another 76 fill. So we'll take a 76 fill right now, giving us an average price right now at 73. You can see it there on the chat, on the bottom. My stop out is still the same, 86s. So we're going to take a little level there at VWAP. And this one's not as clean as the trade that was here earlier because there isn't too many levels. But if I zoom in just a little bit right into here, this top is 90, these little bottom wicks right there, 82, 83. So, you know, you can always sort of level it up, but like I said before, you gotta put something out, and if this stops me out at the top again and then falls, that is what it is, and that's gonna happen. So we'll try it right there on Ethereum. Look, it's down 6% today, was down much more than that. Nice little battle back there for ETHA, but we already said like when the bell calls or tolls for Ethereum, it's gonna make a move like this, and tried to tell people up here that this was Tom Lee obviously bumping up the stock, and we knew that, but now here it comes back down. I still don't think Ethereum, and there's going to be people out there that are way more educated on crypto than me, but smart contracts, I still don't really. I know there's stablecoin action, and I know there's some negativity around Circle today and whatnot, but I just...
Well, Circle was thinking of something stupid, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that's if a lot of these things are built with Ethereum as well, on the Ethereum network, maybe there is changes coming to stablecoins now. And I would say that there was a lot of talk about the Genius Act and what that meant for a name like Circle, obviously. I mean, we were at lunch today talking about IPOs, and I mean, this was another one. We didn't even mention Circle. We talked about Klarna and Bullish and Gemmy and all those names. Figma was another one recently. StubHub, which we could check it out. But Circle, I don't want to check StubHub. I mean, they took enough money from me anyways. But there goes StubHub right just in fees, buying tickets. But there we go, $60. Circle comes out at 70, goes...
I actually think
it goes all the way to 270.
I think StubHub is going to be a buy at some point. This is because
StubHub?
Like StubHub still hasn't found the bottom since the IPO. And some of the IPOs have, but StubHub is not one of them. But like at some point, it's like I get it. There's some exit liquidity there for people to make money, and that's part of the reason that you get some of these IPOs. But let's be real. This is actually, it's not going anywhere, and we know experiences are a big deal for people to use disposable income on. So I do think
$17.
Like maybe it will. Maybe it's as simple as like maybe $10 or something like that. Like it gets down there and take a shot at it. But yeah, another fresh low today. I'm only saying this because it made another fresh low today. Like you have had one good day on Stub. You had one good after. I was about to say you've had one good day on StubHub, but that's not even. It's not even that great of a day. Like you get this one good day in here, 17, 18. I guess that's a good day. And then the next day it just resumes its dump fest on StubHub. But I do think there will be a bottom that might be worth something. I'd look at the $10 level there. Now let's go over to Adair again.
Yeah, just be aware, guys. Fed's daily to start speaking in about 7 minutes at 3:30 p.m. We've had a lot of Fed speak today. A lot of it a little bit more dovish than maybe we've heard in recent days. Either way, Fed's daily here to add something to the mix. Fed's daily, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, beginning this talk. Back to you.
Hey, Andre, test my earpiece, man, when you get a second, because I don't hear... Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm just not hooked up right now. I went to go fill up my water, and sometimes it does disconnect. So I feel like that's definitely what's happening right now. So
we were just talking about experiences. No, I remember this because we use something called Unity for our earpiece, whatever technology, the intercom technology, and it's apparently like the thing that gets used at all the big concerts. That was the selling.
Well, that's what we told. That's what we were told by the person.
Well, I don't. That the person who
I feel like they don't use this.
Well, I don't know. I have no reason not to believe that it's true.
I'm about to be reconnected.
But we've had some issues with it.
All right, I'm
back and forth.
reconnected now.
All right, so AMD just held 160.5, so it's trying to go, but it's in this consolidated phase. But if you look, both the, maybe just the ES. Well, anyways, I was going to say both the ES and the Nasdaq were breaking VWAP, but the Nasdaq pulled into VWAP. The S&P futures broke the volume weighted average price. So maybe the same pullback is happening, but it's the Nasdaq bouncing off VWAP. So you break VWAP, there's no reason I don't think AMD follows through. For now, it'll just be a reloaded in front of 61 and look for the continuation a little bit later. We'll have the early look on, well, I mean, I can look at it now, but there's nothing there. We'll have the imbalances coming through later on here, but nothing crazy like CNQ, CV, those don't really make a big deal. The one to, that's the morning one. Why is that still here? Sometimes you'll still see imbalances in the morning. BVA had a sell imbalance in the morning, but SMR has a sell imbalance of 900,000 as an early look. If that gets over 1 million, it could be worth watching on SMR because that's a mover and you want something that has a big notional imbalance, so the total value of the imbalance is going to be big, but also that relative to the amount of shares done is going to be a big deal. And SMR has only done 17 million shares, so if it comes out 1 million, that's more than, it's like 6% or almost 6% of the day's volume on SMR. So I'll keep that one up. If that goes over 1 mil, might be worth a little bit of a short going into 350. We'll see. Or Alpha says bull is pushing. Well, good. I was just talking.
Weevil's been up huge today.
I was just talking about how it rejected this same price, 14.5, 3 days in a row. So this is what you want to see. Sellers in control. I wanted meant to zoom in, not out. Sellers in control, sellers in control, sellers in control, sellers screwed. And then you can break it out. So we missed the dip buy. I say we, I mean me. I missed the dip buy under the 50-period moving average because I was waiting for 10 to 11 bucks. But the good news is you don't always have to have the low to get some momentum. This could just be a long over the 50 period going from 15 to 18. That's 20%.
Wow.
And if it goes more than that, 18's this is a big level because when it pulled, the stock was stupid after the SPAC. So these levels are all nonsensical. But when it made its first bounce here, topped out 19, then topped out 18 off the $10 level. So when it gets into the high teens, I think you take profits. So if I got a 15 long, let's say we take a breakout tomorrow, your big target is the 18, 19 area for sure. I like some Webull. I don't think I'll consider buying it until like Friday or Monday with some confirmation, but I like what I see here. Finally looking a little bit stronger on Webull. Just never seems to run. Like the days that we see like Robinhood up or bouncing nicely, just never seem to have the juice that I want out of it. And now it's doing it with Robinhood being weak. That's not a good day for Robinhood at all.
You were weak. No, Robinhood is, I mean, some of these stocks that are big-time players that have had huge moves today, we're taking a little bit of time off. I mean, I wish I could tell you that we were thinking short. We were, but not short. This name. Adara, please tell me the story that I missed on Apple, because, like, if it's the
negative story just now.
That's what's good. Like, if it's the Intel news, like, that didn't do any.
There's really nothing that you missed there. The only thing is they're trying to get the EU to repeal the DMA or the Digital Markets Act, but that's not going to happen. The EU's already said they're not repealing it, so it's kind of a moot point. I don't have anything new on it either. Like, the last thing I have is senators are trying to probe into this one in Amazon, so nothing that would explain.
Can you test me again?
Apple.
Yeah, that's. So sometimes you just go in there.
That's okay.
It could just be when the air comes out of AI. Apple does. If you're gonna punish Apple for not winning in AI, then when the AI bubble shows some weakness, then who should be relatively strong? You can't have it both ways.
Right.
I mean, technically, I guess you could. I mean, it could happen, but I'm sort of speculating because it's been, and even when the probe into Amazon Apple story hit, Amazon ticked down 50 pennies. Apple didn't even make a move at all. Right. If anything, it actually bumped up a little bit. It's always a good sign if you have any negative headline and they buy it back up. But that's when we talked about CoreWeave, the opposite for CoreWeave today. For CoreWeave to get a $6.5 billion deal and then reverse the entire move and go 5% down, to me, is incredibly bearish.
I just want to let you guys know we are getting some complaints, obviously, on the stream about our mics. So they're just blasting this spray paint.
Yeah.
Like, so they're spraying the roof, and as Randy said, it's all just a nightmare right now for us. So we want to, well, it's not, but I just want to appreciate that and just let all of you guys know that that is what's coming through. So the mics are fine. It's just, you know, we are having a little bit of an issue here as we work through Studio 8. So we want to thank everybody for their patience and everything, and just bear with us. It's a matter of days, honestly, until we get to a spot where
you see what's
most of this will. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking most of the loudness maybe, but you know, we're trying to work off peak hours. You know, we're in a building, so there's rules that have to be done, and unfortunately, we can't just start blasting in the middle of the day, so it has to be done at night, and certain projects are
if you've ever lived in a
maybe
condo
little
building,
longer.
you know how it goes when you're doing anything in a condo building.
I'm just trying to add to this. I have to repair, talking about Apple, I have to repair these AirPods, so I think I'm going to hold this down until what, this starts to blink. There we go. So now we're starting to blink a little bit there, and I'll add these. Get that going. Okay, but real quick, Ethereum, it looks like it just wants to get going there. I mean, look, I'm going to make the same mistake again, right? My stop is 86. It's come to 84 a bunch of times, and now it's holding VWAP. So, you know, we'll take the shot here. Look, I hate putting on trades that don't work out, especially when I talk about why I put them on and that I do believe in it, and I do, and I believed in the short here, but you know, you can still get stopped out. So right here, just so everybody can learn, because I can't just sit here and talk about like how tough day trading is and then not try to explain what my methodology is. So this is VWAP. We were down on the day. It made that move, you know. Can never really call a bottom, but there's the take back to the upside, and it just goes right into VWAP, so that's volume weighted average price. And you know, the study about VWAP is that most of the market will be trading either over or under VWAP. So if you're bullish today, you'd like the stock to close above, and if you're bearish, obviously you'd like to close it under, because if your job today as a big hedge fund or a trader, you know, looking to get in and out of a position for Ethereum, you want to say to your client, like, you know, we're long at VWAP, and it closed above or it closed below. So right now we're just trying to dance around with it. We just got to fill there at 75, I guess, just to take away a little bit of pressure on this trade right now. So we got it at 10%. You know, holding the 200 period would be fine by me, but I'd like to get a fill there first. So I'm going to go 65, then I'm going to go 55, and a couple pennies ahead of both of those numbers. So 67, then 57, which is great, because right now, if we're going to get stopped out, it's going to be about a 15-cent hit. So we at least, so you know, getting out here at 64 will give us, I know it's only 10 cents, but it'll give us at least a base. And then if we can get down there, then it's much more like a one-to-one trade. So I'm just going to put a bid. Actually, I'm already bidding 63s. So we could just wait there. So, you know, just to go, I'm following my own rules. Like the 63 is there because when I put it there, it was probably where the 50-period moving average is. So I'll just keep it there for now. 66 is a good little level there for Ethereum. So that's something to talk about. We said we would talk about Marvell. But the thing is this is already up 5%. Marvell yesterday said that they're taking back 10% of their stock in a all-cash share buyback, right? And so they're not using debt or anything to do that. What the? I just saw Marvell's story right here. What is this? Yeah, there you go. Marvell Technology. So this happened at 311. We'll purchase shares in open market on September 25th. So that's today. This is it. So the executive CEO, Matt Murphy, 14,000 shares. Why so little, my guy? At an average price of 77.09. President Data Center Group, they're 3,400 shares. Chris, whoever this is, 6,800 shares. CFO, 3,400 shares. So, you know, I think they must watch Trader TV Live and know, you know, how much we like this stock. But there goes Marvell. And the reason why I like this again, I just think it's a piece of the pie that can grow. And decent PE, 28. You know, their last earnings was not great, and you see no PE right there. So they had a little bit of a bad quarter. We'll see if they can turn it around. Gross margins increasing. I like the stock. I've been liking it for days, so it's nice to see that it's finally starting to pay dirt a little bit there with Marvell. So congratulations to everybody that sort of felt my passion and felt the long in that stock was something that I had, and I'm glad if you guys joined me. If you're in the short, I'm sorry about it, but we're really cooking now on Marvell, and I think I'm getting a little greedy now as well. Like this just went, for me, we're long. First of all, we bought some there, so it's, you know, the average price is still around the 70 marker, but you went from 61 to 85. So you've gone up again, like another 25% in 3 weeks or so here for MRVL. So coming into a level where, hey, if it dropped off of here, would we be surprised? I mean, it's already double touched here, basically once there, the 200 period, then once there again, but now we take it out. So this one, I think, has legs to get a little bit higher right there. But yeah, you know, we're in this right now. We're in 250 in the money on Marvell. We are 95 cents in the money, $1 in the money on the TQs, and we are out of the money 1 cent right now on Ethereum. So all is good as I continue to hold these in my hand and not pair them.
Why, it's not working?
I don't know. I got to figure out. Maybe it did pair already.
So I was going to show you, I did get an open and just held that $9 level, and we'll get to that in a quick little second. Remember there was that moment where we had AMD, tight stop, but I wouldn't go tight stop on this every single time. It's just a prior bar out. So we got about 34 cents, 35 cents in the money, and then we stopped it out for 15 pennies. And the better thing about it is, like, this afternoon, you know, it's at least keep it tight. I mean, that one didn't lose, but keep it a little bit tighter to the vest than this morning, where I was without confirmation, sort of piling in a little bit more. So we get about half of it back this afternoon on AMD, but this is now turning into strength. But Intel did break the trends. Remember, I elected not to take that one? It did break trend and is holding above the prior high. So it's still, like, it's okay. Like, it would have worked out for you, but it didn't fully extend like 1% down, which would have been the target. OpenDoor now past 330, so we are, you know, like, we're getting a little bit close to the imbalances coming out here and the end of the session, obviously. So we bought as it came back through $9, just wanted it to finally hold this 9 area and show some strength. So this was the strength clearly on this candle. Ended up getting 4s, tried 2s, and we'll play it into the high of the day on open. Apparently Grizz is saying SMCI is taking off. Haven't looked at that in a while. Load. There we go. Wow. SMCI. This is a big time V-shape. You know the issue with SMCI recently is it used to be a really exciting stock volatility-wise. Now it's just not. At some point, something's going to have to give because this has the capability of really running. And I know it's a polarizing stock from like some people will tell you how great a value it is, and then you've got others that are saying like basically like it's a little fraudulent, their growth claims. And so it's very tricky. But if this takes to 50 period, I think you want to be involved from a momentum standpoint. I'm not there yet because see what's happening with it? Barcoding can't hold above the 50. So on the swing basis, like I'm not seeing enough strength in it just yet. But on the day trade, you might have something. Anytime you get wipeout bottoms, like the liquidity grab bottom is one of the best long signals. You just have to be able to pull the trigger, you know, somewhere when it consolidates, if you're looking at the stock. Like I'll cop to only looking at OpenDoor today for the long. You know, I liked OpenDoor and I liked LAC, and LAC wasn't even that good. What's Lithium Americas doing? Something, not nothing, but not much either.
Right.
Like Lithium Americas hasn't broken, you got more action in the pre-market on LAC than you did intraday. Like if you just traded the highs at 7 a.m. or at 6 a.m. actually when this chart starts, or bought the bottoms down at 7 a.m. You got more action if you did that than the entirety of the session here on LAC. But what that still means is it consolidated all day long on 200 million shares of volume, 20% higher. That's pretty good. That means there's buyers up here all day long willing to hold the stock up. That's not too bad whatsoever. Ooh, Airy Pages, no, SoFi. Don't tell me you're killing on the short in SoFi. Why can't SoFi just break and hold?
We had that dollar long at 29. Is that 29 again?
Can get to 30. No, it's at 28. We can get to 30. We can't hold 30 on SoFi. Yeah, this might be if you haven't rung the register on SoFi,
do it.
You might want to do so. You might want to do so.
Yeah, we ran some registers on that. We got a little bit out at 29, but we also got a little bit out at 24. So
that was the before earnings one because it always tanked on good earnings. That's the thing that pissed me off. And then this is the time that it went.
1, 2, 5.
That's how they get you.
7, 8. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just sort of counting up here how many outs we're going to be having. Ethereum, again, this might not be like we waited, and it came into 69 there and bounced again. So I'm just going to put it now at 70, see if we can get out of maybe 15% or so on this play. Hopefully we're able to do that, and we'll get something. I mean, we're only short at 73. I can't believe that this is not moving at all here in the after hours, or in the afternoon trade. I don't know why I always say that. I always say after hours for some reason. All right, so Micron again, the same kind of ways. We already took some out. We're going to wait for that one. Let's see if we can find some new trades. So, all right, yeah, Mike. If there's still Mike problems, I don't know what to tell you. Right now, people are saying that it's cutting in and out. I don't know. All right, let's go have a quick look at Tesla. They had themselves a day. I just want to find a name that's like basically in this area where we've seen some tops, and because I'm still short, like I'm still thinking the market has a move down today. I think we break this VWAP right there and start to come back in. I mean, this is another great area to short it. We're in the TQQs. I feel bad that we didn't add to it right there, but it's difficult to add to something when you're above VWAP and above the 50-period moving average. So we do have a little bit of work to do to try to find something that might be a little bit more movement than some of these other names. So let's go over to names that are in play, right? So CoreWeave right there. Good play off the 200 period. Look, there's the 200 period right here. Fall down, tries to get back to it, doesn't. Tries to get back to it, doesn't, falls down. So CoreWeave, maybe a trade at 129, 129.50 to short that. Still a couple plays away from hitting that trade. Okay, Ethereum, now we're bidding 70. Just fill your boy right there so we can at least get out of something here for another win. I've only traded 3 names today, and Ethereum, Micron, and the TQQs, all the names that we had on here, and see, I can't even get filled. There it is. So we get filled at 70 as it looks like it wants to wipe down a little bit there. We use BATY. Well, there we go. You might be able to see some of the shares I was using right there, but out a little bit there on BATY because it will fill first. So there's a whole bunch of Nasdaqs going through right now as well. So one is a gateway that you get paid on. One is one where you do pay. So I get out first. Okay, let's go. So I don't need to worry too much about this. So here we go, man. We're starting it, man. Traders, let's see if this can finally make a move to the downside right now. So here comes this Ethereum. We're short. We're bidding 29.63. I'm going to take advantage of what this recent move is right now. Bid a little bit out on ARCA, see if we get filled there, make the rebates, and there it goes as well. Bang, 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 as this market continues to do well for your boy. Nice move to the downside right here on Ethereum. We got stopped out right there. Let's see if we can put this name back to Greensville and take a short. And if we can get lucky enough to get out at 55, which I'm going to put my next bid right now at, I'm still at 63s, see if we can get those, and then we'll go to 55. This time if it comes to 55, let's get out of a third or whatever. Maybe a little bit less, I just put it there. About 20% if it continues to fall down. Maybe this does want to make the move into the end of the day. So there we go. We're going to wait to see what winds up happening right here. Ethereum just stacked up on the bid. No. I don't know. Get out if you guys want to, but that's what I'm doing. I'm starting to do there. Marvell going high of day, says Aura Alpha there. Jag, no. So you asking Neil and I am still red on the day after fighting Marvell early. Just trying to work this out right now and get back into Greensville. But I can check on the month. It's been, as I said, a pretty good month here. But we're going to wait to see what winds up happening. TQs and Ethereum and Micron all short.
Yeah, I answered Jag. Like there was even some midday. I actually made half of Palantir back, but I did one Tesla trade, and I got wicked out while we were at lunch. And the frustrating thing is it was like the exact right price, but it held VWAP for like all of lunchtime. And by the time we came back, it was already flushed. So there's not much you can do about that. I wanted to get to it wasn't Marvell. We haven't looked at Meta today, and I'll get there in a quick little second, but we just top wicked on AMD. So allow it to run 161, get out, and when it goes to the high of the day and wicks the high of the day, get back in off the high of the day, and then make a separate trade. Open still very slowly grinding. I mean, Open, there's been nothing parabolic out of Open outside of 9:39 to like 9 to 10 o'clock. Everything else has been pretty structured. Like it takes its time going back down, it takes its time going back up, but it's still holding some higher lows. That said, going into the last 5 minutes before imbalances here, going to cover in front of the high of the day. Maybe this breaks out very late and we can get one last little push, but we literally have 5 minutes till the balance, the imbalances coming on through there. And I actually saw that Meta, this is the first time in a while, made the top. It's number 4 on the list here. I mean, I don't know, Meta is a boringly amazing stock in a general sense, but not really something that we talk about because not a lot of people are going to be day trading it and hasn't been the most exciting stock. Let's be real for a second. My thoughts on Meta are, I like Meta and I have dip bought Meta a few times this year. I'm not buying this at the 50-period moving average because it's way too tight to the top. Like this at the 50-period moving average is like 5% from the high. That's really, like, that's just a little too topish for me. So if it's gonna dip and I want more of it, it's got to be 700. I don't think we get 660. Now that's something in front of the 700 level. This feels like it's on the precipice of a bit of a real pullback, not some 5% dip. Like 10, 15%. And if Meta does that, then I'm a buyer. It's just right now, I don't like the 50-period on this one anymore. It was much different in July. It was much different in May when this was at the 50-period. In May, when it was at the 50-period, it was literally 30% from the highs. Now it's like 5% from the highs. And that's a little too tight for me. So I'm a little bit bearish on Meta, but I'm only a dip buyer of the stock this year. Because I felt myself underweight on this stock, I actually haven't sold any Meta at any point. This is just more of a buy and hold play.
Yeah, I basically was forced to sell some Meta, so just for portfolio management, got way too big. I mean,
yeah, which is reasonable.
Yeah, like
Sharif
and I were. I was pounding the table. I'm glad Sharif hit that. I mean, when that was a PE of 18 at $100, that was a crazy, crazy stock for sure to go ahead and trade. Ethereum right now, trying to go. We're waiting for that one. I wanted to look at, forget about Marvell. I know you guys, we could look at it. I mean, there's a lot of questions in the chat about it still. I know it's breaking out into the high of the day, but it's 3:46 right now. We only have 13 more minutes until the imbalances. So to be completely honest with you, I don't think it's the right time of day to get involved in any new trades. I'm not trying to run from trades at all, but these are all, you guys have been here, and it's one thing, to risk some play money at stocks, but I don't really want to put something on and, it's like, okay, here we go, Sean's thinking short or long, because these numbers in 3 minutes will completely change everything. So I'm just really glad to see the move that Marvell is having, and I am debating taking some out of the portfolio. I mean, we had just got this name long, and it's really ripping up. The target eventually, though, is $100 right there. Andre, I can test to see if I can hear you if you want. No, for some reason I still can't. I'm connected, so I don't know what's going on. We'll have to get news from what's his name? All right,
I think we have to go to Adara.
Yeah, just be aware here. We have Fed's Daily speaking right now, saying that, again, the Fed is looking for these low job finding rates and the length of time it takes to find a job. It's just one of many comments that we've heard from the Fed this week, and even just heading into September's meeting, suggesting that the Fed right now is switching more to looking at employment rather than inflation concerns, at least to an extent. I also want to mention Fed's Cook has actually apparently made a filing with the Supreme Court in an attempt to save her job. Now, in that filing, she warned the Supreme Court that there could be, quote, chaos in the market if she is fired. So Fed's Daily speaking and Fed's Cook warning of market chaos should she be let go. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. 90 seconds until the imbalances come through. Just a little housekeeping. I just took a little bit more out. Open's not really running into the high of the day there, so it doesn't seem like it wants to go more than like 9 to 9:10. Unfortunately, and we're still in AMD. We've tightened the stop up a little bit, not going to give it to the high of the day at all. Looks like LAC. I just saw a bunch of people putting LAC in the chat. Oh, you got me. If I see LAC, and then I go over and it's kind of barcoding there. So yeah, LAC doesn't seem to be doing anything. 19% is fantastic. It's just not moving a heck of a lot. So 1 minute to the imbalances. Not expecting anything too crazy today.
We are doing it here on...
really.
Got you, Fabian.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be anything too crazy in the amounts, but you never know. Early look really just has... It's SMR with a 1 million early look sell, so that's one I'm going to have up on the sidebar. But AMD's starting to come to the downside. I'll leave that one on, but I'm not taking any more of that open at $9.
All right, traders, here we go, man. It's siren alert time. There goes Ethereum. I mean, I've been sitting in this all afternoon. If you're only going to take one trade, It's the only one that I've been in here this afternoon. We did have Ethereum early. We're just sticking with the same plan of action, right? Remember, this was a 73, 75 short, whatever, just printing down to the low side right now. We are now moments away from this imbalance, and I don't think I'm going to get rid of the broker here because we want the actual New York and Nasdaq prints that come through, and they're going to come through in 5 seconds, so we'll just switch that, and here you go. In just a matter of minutes, we'll see what this stock market has in store for us. There it is right now. So now we are now open with these imbalances, and it doesn't seem like anything. A lot of low numbers here. I'm not really, I mean, Intel with a little bit of a bid, up 9%. I like that move. There's Nvidia with a little bit of a bid as well. Amazon with a bid. Amazon, I think I'm getting greedy waiting for that 210. I said we could get there tomorrow. I made that call at 220, 222. It's down $3 or $4 from there. So if we can have another day tomorrow down $3 or $4, I think we'll buy this name. So Amazon still making lows right now on the day, but nice little bump up there on the bid. So that's helping itself out. FCX, we talked about the tragedy there with their mine. Hopefully for families and everybody, that's okay. But there was a crack in one of their, or not a crack, I don't know what it was, but some deaths there, I think in one of their mines in Chile. So we hope that that's been better for them. But FCX continues the downside play. And yeah, Micron and the futures are kind of doing nothing. So we're just going to start to get out of some of these. Watch out for our Ethereum play as it's going lower. And right now, man, it's been a money-making afternoon. So congratulations to anybody that has anything like this. But I'm going to start to get out some more names here. TQs, I'm bidding 77s. Maybe we get those. And then Ethereum, I don't know how low we can go, but this seems to be pretty good. Maybe we just cash it out and buy a lottery ticket on our way home. But that's what's happening right now with Ethereum. There it comes. Nice little move down in lower. I am bidding 57s. Maybe we get that.
Great look. I saw NVIDIA come out as a buy of 1 million shares, so instead of letting this go against me, I just punched out assuming AMD was a buy as well. Well, don't let it run that high. It does the same move as before. It goes like 30, 40 pennies in the money, and then it bounces. AMD was a super strong day. So open, I'll give it a chance to push into the high of the day there. I mean, the high of the day is 920. It just pushed through the 10s finally, so I'll leave this one in. The stop is now at break even, see if you can't get to that 920 level. But nothing stood out on the imbalances, really. It was SMR that was an early look of 9 million. It's not there anymore. Intel's a buy of 1 million shares, but it's done a lot of volume today, so I don't know if that matters. NEO was a buy of 1.1 million. You notice how you don't see Amazon or Nvidia. Oh, there is Nvidia, 950. So under 1 million, but 950 on Nvidia. MSTR, 750,000 sell. I don't think I've ever seen MSTR on the imbalance locator before. So 750,000 sell on MSTR. I'm just curious, does it actually move off imbalances? A little bit. So that could be worth watching. It's at VWAP. MSTR down 7%. Go figure. Bitcoin loses 110, and MSTR is down 7 points. That's part of the game. Understand that you're gonna have outsized moves to the downside when the stock fails, or when not the stock. You know what I mean. When you get a bit of a failure in crypto and specifically in Bitcoin, MSTR is going to take it on the chin a little bit more. Not my cup of tea, but if you want the extra leverage in there and that's your play, go for it. The same reason people play options.
I mean, when crypto was at 117, 118, I was thinking that this was going to be a downside move because it didn't make any sense why the Nasdaq kept on going. And then whatever the price was on Fed Day, that the minute that didn't go, I feel that was the out. So what's up, Pranet? Yeah, I just got out now. I had like a couple percentage points left on Micron, right, which was just barcoding. So we'll get that out right there for a nice win on Micron. It's just there's no point. We can't hold overnight. We can't hold. I got to go do the recap show. Sometimes I'll sit here and hold a little bit into the close, but I'm not going to do that now because I got to get over there. And then we just got out of our TQQ trade, which was this short here. That was just a very small amount of shares. Realized that I screwed that up, and then bid it out and whatever. So that's good. All right. So right now here goes Ethereum. Nice play to the downside. Right now as well, down 6%. Coming through one more time there for Ethereum. So I got to get up and go back over to the desk, so that should be fine. We do have Costco earnings coming up as well, and Ramin wants us to look at some sort of a chat here right now. I don't know where that chat is, but when I find it, I will look at it.
We have a million chats.
That right now.
Oh, the main chat. I see.
The main chat. Oh, here it is right here. There is a Costco, some sort of a Costco video coming up after the close.
That looks like the dude from
this guy's eating a hot dog, and that's going to be very exciting. I don't know if this is the CEO. I don't know who this is.
That is Jim Senegal. He is the co-founder and former CEO of the company. This is the man that was threatening to kill people if they raised hot dog prices. That's him. I don't know.
So the guy's a
he did
lunatic.
say it, so.
All right, so the guy's a maniac.
obviously
so
you
that's
can be
great to
literal
know.
about that.
All right, so
Can't be paying too much for hot dogs.
we got out of basically 3/4
That is
of
absurd.
Ethereum for this. So yeah, good trading here to end the day on ETHA. I'm going to stop this out right now. We did have a release, so there we go. We're now out, completely flat of everything. Congratulations, Barry Horowitz right now, patting ourselves on the back. And yeah, good thing we got out of Micron, someone just said. Yeah, I mean, that was just, we're just clearing it out. We didn't have a big position, but it's at VWAP. Remember, the thing about all this is that we're getting influenced right now by these imbalances. So it's like, I don't even know where Micron is, but see, like Apple's a buy, so like a little bit of a shot up there. So it's just, you got to be careful with this. It's not going to trade, you know, support and resistance levels. It's going to trade based on the mechanics of the imbalance locator. So, you know, that's what that is. But yeah, man, and we done good, right? We got out of Ethereum. We did everything as best as we can today, and tomorrow's a new day. So Costco earnings, I think they're the only
thing.
big company coming.
And they're a big one.
Yeah, some would say that. Yeah, EPS right now 581 is what we're looking for, with revenues of just a small 86 billion. So implied move only 3%. Costco won't move.
Printing.
At least we'll be able to see
Printing money.
what's going on.
But it can be an opportunity if it does dip. That's for sure. But you know what? If you're looking for opportunities and, hey, you don't want to risk your own money, well, you can trade with someone else's capital, because without the fear, as much fear of losing and not moving your stop loss too soon, and on top of that, with Trade the Pool, you can get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits and not just a couple $100 a month. This is a revolution called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. So how it works is you join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of those profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off. You'll see Mitch from Trade the Pool here in a couple of weeks for sure. So I think a couple of members of the team as well. So I want to shout out to them, appreciate them for sponsoring this part of the show here. So with about 3 minutes to go, as I said, there wasn't anything too terribly crazy on the locator. You'll see NEO still a buy of 1.1 million shares, so that could be a little something. We covered that open. It's just the last leg, not so good. The early buys were much better on open when you were getting at 840 and you're adding on the way up and all that kind of good stuff and buying it off VWAP. Late in the day, it's just a little bit different. So I'm going to go, just wanted to double check NIO. It's the only remotely significant imbalance, and it's not moving on there. So that million on NEO not really doing much. That said, hey, not a bad day at all for NEO. And we barely even talked about this name. And the EV business is a tough business, but NEO has legitimately been breaking out. Makes some sense. You'd find some resistance here at the 760 range, and he's going to need to push through that. But this has been an absolute tear, so congrats to anyone that liked this one off of the lows. You've certainly picked up a bit of a winner here. But yeah, NEO feeling like it could be a little bit toppish. Only a couple of minutes. Bobby Axelrod, everyone keeps typing in Lithium Americas. Is it moving now? Oh, it's starting to move. Yeah, now it's actually starting to move. Like, not when I was in it. Yesterday it was yesterday I felt this was so much easier. Like, look at the easy dips off the volume weighted average price 3 times. Like, you couldn't have gone wrong. Like what OpenDoor did today, LAC was doing yesterday, and then today this was just frustrating because every time I try to take it on the upward momentum, like the higher low, make the new higher low, it just wasn't working out for me. So you try to get back a portion of yesterday and not all of everything that you made on it the day before. At least that's my 2 cents. But LAC finally making a little bit of a run. And the story this afternoon, well, one of them has to be Apple. You get this story that there's going to be a probe. Well, there's always a probe on big cap tech names, but on Amazon specifically and Apple continues to go higher like absolutely nothing is happening. And on the other side of it, you have Amazon, which I don't know if it's still going down, but certainly, it's catching a bit, which just continued to go lower. So unfortunately for Amazon, like their troubles kind of continued. And for Apple, the bid just continues to run. And this has been a story since the sell the news, and this is what we sort of talked about. Don't buy on the event. Wait until they do the phone release, let it dip, and then buy the dip. Like Apple just has a tendency to do that. If it falls after a phone release, it's going to move down more than it moves up. So a lot of times that's kind of the play. Is like you like the stock on the phone release, and then you buy the dip on it, and then now you're back at the highs, and we're at all-time highs at 10:47 tomorrow or something like that. Maybe a little bit earlier. But we didn't drop the countdown. The closing bell is going to be brought to you again by Beta Pro by Globex. Shout out to them. 3x leverage, daily ETFs, everybody. So we'll ring it in 2, and how's about right about now? And there it is. The market is closed. Apple, and remember, this morning we but we came in to a market that was tanking or looking like it was over 1% down. And now you're going to be Nasdaq a half a point, ES half a point, Apple up almost 2 full percentage points in here today. Palantir, I feel like we didn't really give this one enough justice here this afternoon. Palantir is going to close effectively flat after being down huge. Palantir is going to be 0.1 to the downside. So the V-shaped recovery was intact. The buy the dip was intact. AMD closes in the green. So that showed a lot of strength. I want to thank everyone for coming on out. It's been an awesome day. I want to give a special shout out to Jeff Mendel, who dropped on through here, took us out to lunch, and always a good time with Jeff. Check out OTC Moon for aftermarket trading. I think that's, it's 24 hours is coming, and now you have the opportunity with OTC Moon and Blue Ocean to be able to trade in the evening when we have news. And the news this evening is going to be Costco earnings, and we're going to have them with the market recap show. We've got Sean, we've got Adara, we've got Costco, and you better not raise the price of those hot dogs. Go get them.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, hot dogs. And I was also saying here you can get a sausage. You can get like a Polish sausage, Italian sausage,
Really?
or a
Okay,
hot dog.
cool.
Maybe this is too personal, but it's like my stomach doesn't really react well
I don't
to
eat
those
hot dogs on
boiled.
principle.
Those
Yeah.
boiled hot dogs, like I like them at like a baseball game or something, but those Costco ones, they have decent French fries.
I
at
heard their
Costco.
pizza. My school, shout out to Winnipeg, St. Joseph the Worker Elementary. So
What's up, Winnipeg?
we for lunches they would only get us food from Costco. They just get us
Okay,
Costco pizza
nice
for
value.
like hot lunch, like once a month or whatever. You donate and then you get pizza. And so the Costco pizza was fine.
I feel like that
it was
Costco
all
pizza is
right.
good. They have ice cream and stuff. Anyways,
never had-
Costco coming out 4.15, so we'll wait for that. 5.81 is the expected EPS with 86 billion in revenue. So we'll see what number they can come out with. And of course, for the Costco memberships, that's what I want to see. I want to see a continued growth in that space. We never want to see a negative quarter over quarter number from their membership subscriptions, right? So that's what we're going to wait for today. And that's coming out very, very soon. But hey, welcome to the show, everybody. What was a little bit of a rough session again here today, as we do have the Nasdaq and the ES both finishing in the red. But today, it was all about, we have written down here, chip, chess, and tariff tremors. Okay, today we had Intel. Intel right here is courting now Apple. We did get a late day story about TSM as well. Here's Intel on my screen up 8.8% today. They're jumping up here to $34. It did start off with a nice move higher, and then we got extension in the middle of the day as Intel's looking around, support us, give us some money, and we'll build this foundry and we can all be friends as they look for more support. Again, Apple, strong American company, they're looking for that. They got $5 billion the other day from NVIDIA. So we'll have to wait to see. Like, look, NVIDIA gives $100 billion to OpenAI. They give $5 billion to Intel. Which relationship do you think is more important? Intel, nice upside move there today as well. So that's what's going on there. Intel, that's that. Google takes a stake in Cypher today, 5.1% stake in Cypher mining there, backstopping this $1.4 billion for AI data centers. So there goes Google making a similar play. Google downside today, but that's the story. More investments in the space. We like that one. And then commerce section there, probes on robotics and medical devices for Google. So they're getting a little bit of push and pull here. They invest into the space as well as now getting more look here from the FTC and more look from the DOJ. But again, we already had that story, right, Adara, that they lifted the veil there with that decision and allowed Apple and Google to continue their App Store dominance. So for us, I think that's a good thing moving forward as investors into the space. So I feel like there's two winners is fine. You pretty much have an Android smartphone at least here in North America, or iOS.
Yes.
So you're in one or the other. So I feel like, yeah, those guys are going to have to make a little bit of money. They're going to have to skim some off the top of these apps. So that's that last story right there. And then as we go on, we have this great graphic here, just to give you a little bit of an idea. So Adara, why don't we go over this?
Let's go over this. And again, I want to remind you guys as well, we have lots of Costco infographics to come, and you have to stay after this stream to check out our brand new video on Costco. It will premiere live for you guys. So you get Costco earnings, then you get a little bit of a chaser with a new live video. So stay on the stream. It'll move you right after the market recap. Definitely check that out. Also here, check out OpenDoor.
Right.
Main Street taking a 5.9% position in the company. OPEN had a great day yesterday after there's way stronger than expected home sales numbers. So this kind of adding, I would say, icing on the cake here for OPEN. Apple and the EU, we talked about that a little bit, but they're trying to basically get rid of the EU's fairly new Digital Markets Act. The EU has said they're not budging, so unclear if they're going to find a resolution there.
About that OpenDoor there, 800,000 new home sales. I think that was a big number, right? So we'll have to wait to see.
It's the largest in 3.5 years.
Right, so there you go. So I mean, there's a market here for OpenDoor for sure, up 10% today. So yeah, the average 413,000. We got 800,000 new home sales today. So yeah, long through $9 today. Seems to have worked, but we still hover around that $9 mark. So for me, for OpenDoor, we got to see if it does have goods to go to the upside. This is a 5-minute chart. Look how choppy it was there near the end of the day. We have the daily chart down here looking. We are now 10 minutes away from Costco earnings, so we're going to get those to you. But there goes OpenDoor today, up that 10.5%. I like the story of the new home sales there, Dara. I think that does create a little bit of energy for this stock. But remember, Better Homes was one that Eric Jackson, EMJ Capital, I believe it is, started to sort of, I don't want to say pump, but disclosed a stake. I know it probably is, but I don't want to get in trouble by saying that. But they disclosed a stake there. When do you think they started buying? Let me guess, right around here. And then there's the slow grind. And let me guess when they disclosed it a couple days ago. There's the move up, and here's the pullback in for Better Homes. So they have a lot of work to do to get this stock back to $75, $76. So watch out now. That's down 15%. All right, Adara, what's the next story?
Next up, we have Qualcomm and some new products. This one didn't really move too much. This came out yesterday as well, but they did reveal some X2 Elite laptop chips here with Guardian Security, and then this is going to start shipping next year. So Qualcomm with a new product. Of the chip names that we had on watch today, including Micron, to get ahead of ourselves a little bit, and also, you know, we were looking a little bit at Intel, of course, as well. I don't know if Qualcomm is really on the radar to the same extent.
Yeah.
But I mean, Micron's certainly interesting. They might have a competitor in that DRAM space coming out of China, because we know if these U.S. companies are not allowed to ship to China, China's going to have to find a way to compete with them. And I guess that will be just making their own companies more utile for the purposes they need them for.
Yeah, so we were shorting Micron all day, and we really enjoyed that trade. We can go over that in a couple seconds. But yeah, Qualcomm, I mean, they've had another huge run, right? I mean, sometimes because the volume's not really there some days, and it's not as sort of a sexy of a day trade as other names like a Micron, like an AMD, like an Oracle as of late. But Qualcomm, again, look where we just ran into. Right here on the daily chart again, 176. So Qualcomm, nice move up to get up to there, but runs in right into some resistance up there, 176, and a little bit of a pullback into 170 there for QCOM. So there goes that name. And then Micron, I mean, Adara and I, the last time we saw each other, we were covering this earnings report, and it was a good one, Adara, but Micron still falling back down there. You know, there's the day they come out with that report, 175. The next day, the next thing we see is 161, and then today there's that story there where YMTC. So this is a supply chain story here. Meanwhile, they're targeting new DRAM coming through, $2.9 billion facility opening up in Wuhan. Isn't that where the bats came from? In Wuhan. So hopefully they're clearing out those bats, and now they are. China. They are potentially going to open up competition against Micron. So for me today, we can just go over here and open up and just put, I got to save my layout over here so I don't have to keep doing this every single day. But we started the day looking short on Micron right into here. It was a good short. We got burned out a couple times before eventually getting it back into our account and hitting this to the downside. Micron again today suffering another 3% move to the downside. Adara, what's the next one?
Next up, CarMax. CarMax was not a great report. We know with Micron we did have a double beat. Great guidance. CarMax did not give us that, unfortunately. We did have actually a double miss here with CarMax. But not only that, sometimes you'll have companies miss, but they'll still actually have a year-over-year increase on revenue. Now, unfortunately, CarMax, Sean, actually had a year-over-year decline in revenue. It dropped by 6%. So KMX driving to the downside today. This was, I think, gapping down around 6% when I was working on the watch list.
Yeah.
Ended up being like 20% to the downside at its lows. So KMX out.
Ouch.
This versus Carvana, seems like Carvana, maybe people prefer the car vending machines, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the story? I wonder if people in the chat can let me know. Why is it KMX? Like, why?
I've always wondered that myself. I'm not.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, was CMX gone? And they're just like, we'll just take K. I don't know. I think it could have something a little more creative than that. But anyways, KMX, there has to be a story there. I wonder what it is. But yeah, a nice little miss there. Revenue miss, like 6.5 billion, down 6% year over year, minus 5% on the sales side of it. Cost cutting coming through, $150 million over 18 months in their development there. Not good. Plus you get the sympathy play in the auto sector, just not overly strong right now. This is what CarMax looks like to the downside. Some safer plays, AZO, I believe that's AutoZone. So you can look over here. Again, a $4,000 name, talking about a stock that definitely needs some juice to split. AutoZone has been working out there. I guess more people may be doing their own repairs into cars and whatnot, but that seems to want to work itself out as well. I think the more electric cars out there, the less need for an AutoZone, but don't at me for that. CV, I just think that way. Like, you know, some of these Teslas, they don't even need oil changes or they don't have that many parts. So I could see AutoZone actually that may be going to the downside. And to your call right there about Carvana, this may be heading down to the downside as well. We now have 3 or 4 red days in a row on Carvana, but looky what we see right there. 360 is the 50-period moving average, and this one since April, bless you, Ramin, this one since April goes all the way, hits that 50-period, hits the 50-period, hits it, and guess what? We're hitting it again right now on Carvana. So this is a name that, again, could continue to work out. They've been having a lot of good luck with their sales as they have the best prices for used cars and a lot of overhead that doesn't exist the same way that traditional dealership overhead is a problem. Do we have another story or are we done?
Yeah, we've got 2 more actually. I mean, one of them we talked about a lot yesterday. That would be our good friend LAC. But the one above LAC, Circle, we had a president of the company discussing maybe doing reversible transactions. Now, this president, Sean, also formerly was the chair of the CFTC, so he does have some experience in this field. And again, it is worth noting this could be a bit of a tricky situation because they're also an issuer of stablecoin too, and maybe going to get into the reversible transaction space. Now, to be clear, it seems like that's really going to be in situations of fraud and theft, but again, it gets into the discussion of what constitutes fraud, what constitutes theft, and how do you investigate it. But that's the deal with CRCL. I think the market stopped caring about this more or less when we opened. We had a nice little pop.
Yeah.
But interesting story nonetheless.
I have to remind everybody that this, of course, program is brought to you by Global X and Beta Pro. So make sure you do check them out. They're 3-time levered product right there. Go check it out, Global X Beta Pro for Canadian investors. We want to thank you there. But look, here's the show right now. It's a little bit delayed here, so we got Adair still talking. But 600 likes right now, over 4,000 of you watching. So I want to say thank you so much for everybody staying with us. But if you own Costco shares or you short them, if you hit the like button, it's more likely to come out in your favor. So I would definitely hit the like and make sure you do hit the subscribe. Yeah, look, for me on Circle here, as we get ready for Costco coming out, maybe we can actually look at Costco just real quickly. Yeah, let's do that, and we'll talk about Circle in just a couple of seconds because Costco is now moments away from coming through. Look, the play about Costco to me is relatively simple. We're just looking for a beat on that EPS number, and then I want to hear if Adara can find out, and she's going to go through the numbers and listen to the call. That's going to be a little bit later, but we're looking for memberships if they're going to announce anything like that, and what they see in the retail sector. Is it still strong? Like, are they a little worried? I feel like they'll be honest and let us know what is traffic looking like in the stores. We're going to hear from Costco. But Costco right now on the daily is underneath the 50 period. If we come over here, thanks Fabian, underneath the 50 period and underneath the 200 period moving average. Honestly, this does not look like a healthy company right now. Pulled back, it's down into 940, so the high of roughly 1100, so you're down about $150, you're down about 10%, not quite in bull territory or anything to worry about, but if they miss, the implied move is only around 4%, so we're not expecting a whole heck of a lot. The catalyst that I could see, Adara, what if we get, a split announcement potentially for Costco. No one wants to trade this name at $1,000.
I'm good with them to not split, but
No, but even if they do split 10 to 1, still puts it to 100. It'll still be very, very spready and able to trade. But I get it. Some traders do like to trade higher price names because of the spread and
I like it.
capturing. Yeah, no, that's all good and nothing wrong with
I
that.
traded it above 1,000. I'm not even going to sit here and lie, but
Yeah. Well, we just saw AutoZone was 4,400.
that's
So
not.
you
That's a little too
you
much for
might-
me. But yeah, I have no problem with over 1,000.
Yeah, so here we go, man. Moments away. Adara will interrupt, obviously, when those numbers come out. But if we're going to look at a stock like Walmart and whatnot, they're still above $100 and still holding near some of their highs. I still think both these names work. As opposed to Target, Walmart and Costco both have grocery. Target, not as big. There it is. $5.87 for Costco, $5.87, beating by 1 or 2 pennies right there. Adara's going to look at the numbers. We're going to get those to you immediately. But it looks like Costco right now is heading back up to the upside right now. I don't have it on my Benzinga Pro, so I can't show it to you yet. But are you seeing or hearing anything right now from Costco? Relatively flat on the chart.
Yeah, I'll keep reading through it, but they did have an 8% increase in net sales for the quarter.
We like that.
They rose to $84.4 billion. That's
Here it
net
is.
sales. But their actual sales numbers I do have, Sean. So Q4 earnings of $5.87 per share versus $5.80 expected. Sales $86.156 billion versus $86.115 billion expected. Much like last quarter, they only beat earnings by a single hair.
Very small.
Just a hair.
Yeah, a little bit of a small amount there. So we'll wait to see if there's more news coming up. But I'll keep this on my screen just for now to give you guys a little bit of a look on what the numbers are looking like. So 587 versus 580. So that's a beat, right? 86.156. Like, I can't believe we're talking about 86 billion and it has to go down to the decimal places there. But a slight beat there by like a hair. I think it's like maybe one store. But right there, nice move down. So now we'll wait. Daryl will get the numbers. I want to hear, like, is it year over year, quarter over quarter? What do these numbers look like right now? But they do wind up beating right here Costco. Costco shares right now trading down about 1% or so from where we were. Remember, this down 0.13 gives us the whole day's number. So we do close out today around 940 or about 942. So very, very small movement here in Costco. It doesn't seem like it's doing too much. So just slight beat there for Costco. And yeah, not enough of you hit the like button, man. We only have 650 likes. So that's probably why Costco not moving too much. Looks like here, see, now it's getting a little spready, Adair. Probably too much for you as well. 938 by 943. So about $5 there worth of a spread down there into 938. Are we getting any more numbers or that's it?
I do have a little bit more. So comp sales, they did really well last quarter with their comp sales growth. Comp sales, including gas and Forex there, is going to be up 5.7%. So it's a little bit below estimates of a 5.85% increase. Their total company comp sales, though, if you're excluding the FX, the currency changing there, and gasoline, it's actually up 6.4% versus estimates of 6.21%. So if you exclude gas, they did actually have better than expected comp sales growth. If you include gas, worse than expected comp sales growth there for COST. I do not have guidance yet. I'm going to keep looking through their support, but that's really the main thing I'm seeing here. Comp sales kind of shaky. And again, much like last quarter, they beat sales by like a single decimal point, slightly better with regards to EPS. And that's their current CEO, not the hot dog man there, Ron Backers.
Kind of looks like a hot dog man, that guy. So shout out to Costco right there. Yeah, holding for it right now. So it's kind of be, I'll just say it was a stock blitz. You know, we gave you Costco. It came out. Not much happening. Wish we had a little bit of more of a reaction there to Costco, but down about 0.5%. Thanks for the graphic, Adair. Go make sure you do find those. I'm assuming at Trader TV Research.
They're all up there. So, and again, you can also see the hot dog infographic too if you want to learn more about the hot dog. At
TTV Research. Yep. All right, so we'll close that for now. I did want to go back to Circle because we were going to... all right, just hearing some more news, but it doesn't sound like there's anything going on there. All right, so Circle right now, you know, a good story today for Circle, but again, kind of goes against what we thought about for crypto here. Circle right now today comes out and says that they're looking to explore the reversible blockchain transactions to combat fraud. Now, I don't know exactly what kind of fraud is happening with USDC. That is their biggest coin. We saw Circle come to market with an absolutely great IPO, right? It was great for about a week and a half until it wasn't. You're still well above where we IPO'd at 124, but there goes Circle upside and downside right there. So right now, now, there is only 74 billion USDC coins in circulation right now, as I think Brendan in his former life was like a ninja or something. You see him, he's over there with like a baton, twirling it around. He doesn't hear what I'm saying right now, but he's over there doing,
I'm not sure
there he is. You see him in the background right there? Look at that. Yeah, there we go, Brendo. There we go. He's got a staff in his hand.
Oh.
Right there. So that's it. If we don't listen or we don't work enough, that's staff coming over here. So shout out to Brendo right there. Okay, he's still waiting. We're waiting for a big delivery coming through. You know, this wall is going to change behind us, and it's going to be great. We're very, very excited about that. All right, 74 billion USDC coins right now in circulation, so that's big for them. Circle's up over 324% year to date after their June IPO. So still a big success story there for Circle. We'll figure out where they're going on that play. Look, last night we had Accenture earnings, right? That was this morning.
Oh, this morning, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Accenture, and I actually was talking about liking the stock based on sort of where we were here on the daily chart. Down 3%, so not great. I think we can leave this alone until Accenture eventually gets back up there to the upside, but they had an EPS beat of 303.
I have more on Costco.
Okay, we'll go to Costco in a second. They had an earnings per share beat on Accenture of 303. This is this morning, plus bookings of 21.3 billion, both beating, and their FY26 guided above the street, but they're just trying to stabilize right now. They actually opened up about flat on that report and then just drifted down with the day. So I don't think that was a disaster report there for Accenture, but at the same time, not really giving me the feels to go long. So ACN this morning, I know we had the discussion yesterday, looks like the loss of government contracts with Doge definitely affecting them, but their guide was still in line, so we'll see if that can get back up. Before I throw over to you for Costco, let me just see what the stock price is doing right now. Adara, flat right here, Costco, but give us some more numbers.
Yeah, people are making a lot of jokes. So it's down a Costco hot dog, it's up a Costco hot dog.
Yeah.
Either way, guys, if you want to learn more about Costco, join us. After this show, we will transition to another stream where you can learn all about Costco, so don't go anywhere. When this market recap ends, stay right strapped in, ready for the next video. It'll be a premiere of a new video. Let's talk here about Costco. As mentioned earlier, they did beat on EPS and revenue up 8% year over year, EPS up 11% year over year. Membership fees, though, guys, 1.72 billion versus estimates of 1.69 billion. That's up 14% year over year. Now, as we mentioned, their total company comp sales, if you include gas, that was a little bit of a miss. We were expecting 5.85%, ended up coming in at 5.7% growth. But if you get rid of gas and Forex, you actually did have a beat there for comp sales growth. Now, their Canada comp sales growth way better than expected, 8.3% versus 6.8%. Percent expected, and international sales growth a little bit weaker than expected, up 7.2% versus 7.22% expected. Sean, before I go back to you, I want to mention CNXC as well, Concentrix. A lot of people in our chat are asking about this. I've dropped these earnings in the chat a couple times, but I'll say them out loud as well. So CNXC, adjusted EPS 278, missing estimates of 286. Sales 2.483 billion versus estimates of 2.458 billion. So sales beat, EPS missed. That's going to be the theme of this whole report, Sean, because for Q4 they guided EPS between 285 and 296, well below estimates of 332. Their sales guide for Q4 was in line. They lowered their fiscal 2025 EPS guide, but they raised their sales guide for the year. So in general, they seem to really struggle with EPS, but they're doing quite well with sales.
So yeah, again, these guys specialize in customer engagement and customer management. So I feel like they're almost like a CRM play here. I don't know enough about CNXC, but on the daily, this is not looking great. Remember, as soon as I end this recap show at approximately 4:31, stay tuned for a Costco video that we are very, very excited for. That's the wrong camera, Ramin. There it is. That's supposed to be a thumbs up. That did not look that great. Let's not do that again, but that was Ramin's thumb in front of the camera. So we are going to be dropping that video. Niels did that yesterday, the Costco video, so get ready. We're going to talk all about Costco immediately after the show. So if you are a shareholder, get ready for that one. But the CNXC right into here, I feel like this is, again, CRM's been getting hit, right? And I don't know if this is exactly a comp for them, but Salesforce, they just talking about customer management right now. They have a nice downside drift there into $43. So you guys asked for it. Adara brought it to you. It's CNXC, and it is moving lower. Another stock today that we didn't talk too much about, we did have a little bit of a stinger for it. That was Oaklo. Oaklo today, again, bad. We started. Trump is speaking. Anything worth?
Well, I'm just putting him on right now, so I'll let you guys know. He just started.
Great. He's about to sign the executive order on TikTok?
Well, he's about to sign something, but we never know. They don't.
I just heard it. He's signed it right now on TikTok. He is signing. Are we allowed to show that? Can we just show this?
I don't know.
Put it over here. Just show him signing it. Who cares? I'll pay the bill. Right there. There it is right there. Signing the executive order right there for TikTok. Yeah, that was probably 3 seconds. Good job, Fabian. Get that out of here. I don't want to ding my account even more. Back and forth. Okay, fun times. But there it goes, signing the executive order for TikTok. We can have a quick little check-in to see if that's affecting Oracle or not. What the? Okay, I missed this. I don't know what was going on with Oracle today. Obviously, a nice little downside play there for ORCL. I'm just looking through the notes there. I don't have anything specifically about Oracle, but again, I just think that this was well overstated, this move higher. They were a very good value stock. This stock down near $100, $140 had that PE of 14 or 15, right? Right now, their PE over here on Oracle is, I think it's 30s. Is it 30? Yeah, no, not even, man. It is 45 right there for a forward PE for Oracle and a current PE of 71. That's too high in this environment. So again, I know they have a nice revenue source, but we're already taking that into consideration. Oracle, tomorrow's trade today. Let's go, man. That is a stock blitz right there. I think Oracle short tomorrow. You're breaking back down below this area. Let's see if there's no positive news. I think this is buy the rumor, sell the news. TikTok deal now getting signed in its executive order. This is not a deal. No. This is just that he approves whatever the, the fundamentals are, and the framework is the word I'm looking for, in this TikTok deal. President Trump giving it its stamp of approval. We'll see if Oracle can hold out. Every time Adara chuckles, obviously I know she's listening to President Trump. Okay, so another small little one right here is BlackBerry, and I think he's great entertainment. I mean, honestly, the one thing I got to say about it is he does stick to whatever he says, and it seems like whether or not he talked about Tylenol, he's talking now about Oracle, he's talking about TikTok, and he's getting those deals done. So here we go. He said the TikTok investor will be Larry Ellison. Okay, Adara, you're going to have to break this all down. Larry Ellison, of course, CEO and founder of Oracle. So we already know about that. BlackBerry today, oh boy. This stock, where'd this come from?
I think it's just what we knew. He's just going to be involved in the deal. That's really all Trump said.
Right. Okay. So I think we know about that. The rich get richer, of course. And if you're a friend of any government, seems like it's a nice handout right here happening for Oracle. So, but again, stock down 6%. Not a great day for Oracle. All right, BlackBerry back to profit, right? Thankfully, there's BlackBerry right there. Nice little move up. We talked about this yesterday, sort of forming a sort of a U-based right there. Oh, there's some temporary resistance. There we go. So we're writing down, is that the TikTok news at the bottom there?
They're going to take questions about TikTok right now, but only about TikTok. They're only going to let them ask about TikTok for a couple of minutes. Okay, so we'll do that. We only have 5 minutes left in the show. All right, right now, what we were talking about here is BlackBerry. So BlackBerry's return to profitability, over 13.3 million adjusted. That's nice, right? Adjusted EPS of 4 cents. So they're turning positive right there. Their forward revenue and EPS guidance was also raised. Their QNX system has strengths in the business. So right there, QNX, their sort of autonomous build there looks to be working out. I'm not sure who their number one clients are or anything like that. I think Amazon and BlackBerry had a little bit of a tie-up there for Zoox, but don't quote me on that. There goes BlackBerry, a nice move there to the upside right now. So anything? Yeah, I mean, so people are saying, hey, Trump, do you have any security concerns about TikTok? He said, well, no, because it's going to be owned by Americans, very sophisticated Americans, very smart Americans. Right. So because it's American-owned, Trump is basically saying that any kind of security concerns that people had with TikTok, which they did have, he's saying those are basically being initiated because of the now U.S. ownership.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Oh, thank you, Trump.
There we go. See, he's also, Donald Trump also signing executive orders and obviously watching us. So thank you, President Trump. Thanks for getting the TikTok deal done, my guy. Now all the kids in the world will be satisfied.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
He was okay. Sorry, but he just said they were like, oh,
That's
is
a good one,
content going to be
Fabian.
mega related? He's like, well, I'd like it to be. If I could make it 100% mega related, I would. So it seems like maybe I don't know what type of content moderation is happening, but that could be on watch. They're asking him about that right now. He seems very open to mega content on TikTok.
All right, guys. We're about to wrap this thing up. Let's just go quickly over to Costco real quick. I do want to make sure that everyone remembers that we do have a video coming out about Costco, what we were expecting, how do you play earnings like this in a name like this, potentially where Costco is going moving forward. Make sure you do join us at 9, at 4:32. So don't go anywhere. It's coming out. It's a really brief one. Roughly $14 billion deal I just heard in my ear for TikTok. Adair's got that as well. So we'll wait to see what the other parts of this deal are. I do think that there's going to be some push against Meta on this. Yeah, so there's Meta to the downside a little bit. Remember, Instagram Shorts, YouTube Shorts as well. I guess they're called Reels on Instagram. YouTube Shorts doesn't seem to be affecting basically either one of these companies. I think it's baked in, right? I think the ingredients are already there that TikTok was going to become a U.S. entity. At least it's not. Remember, ByteDance is still going to hold everything. It's just the data. The data and the algorithm will be here in the United States. That way, they can track it and they don't give all the data over to the Chinese. That's the main purpose of this deal. We've been seeing FXI actually on quite a heater. Now I can't get, there it is, .am. The Chinese names have been hot, right? Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, and all of that. And there's FXI, a nice upside move. All right, Adair, with 1 minute left, let's go.
Yeah, I really quickly want to say, too, one thing that I kind of like here, JD Vance, Vice President of the U.S., is saying, I mean, all jokes about the mega content aside, JD Vance said that the business people involved in this control of TikTok, they're going to make it as a business decision. They're not going to make it political. They don't want this to be politicized by any country. So interesting look there. But we're almost on the show now,
Yeah,
Sean.
it's 4:31. All right, we're going over time a little bit right now, but this is perfectly planned. In just a couple seconds, we're going to wrap this show up. Then we're going to throw you over to the new video. Please stay tuned for that. All right, make this real quick. Your favorite color?
Green.
Green, gray. I like gray. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're back tomorrow bright and early at 8:30. Let's roll that video. It's Costco time, baby.
I got too aggressive with that fist bump and...